Yeah, y'all already know what time it is. Come on in here. It is time to wipe your feet off on the mat. Y'all see the thumbnail? Y'all see what time it is? Welcome to the Black Cat Panther podcast, man. Me and the GOAT is in the building holding it down tonight. Go talk to me, man. How you feeling?
Man, feeling pretty good, man. Feeling pretty good. You know, it's the off season Q, but we still got a lot of people just, you know, flapping them gums right now. Flapping them gums. When you out here at 2 and 15, they got to flap them gums. You got Matt Rule flapping his gums. You got CJ Stroud flapping his gums. It's just a gum flap. It's gum flapping season. It's gum
Baker
flapping.
Mayfield, you can't forget about him either. He talking shit too.
Baker, everybody in love. Canales is still recruiting all his Buccaneers and you know what I'm saying, all his Buck buddies. I guess all his Buckaroos. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot, man. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's no secrets this side of the Mississippi. Y'all already see what time it is. Matt Rule, on this week where we're sitting down, Matt Rule had an opportunity to talk, and I mean literally to talk to the media. And once he gets in front of the media, oh my God, there's never a dull moment. He gets in front of the
Never.
media, and the number one headline that everybody can take from this is he said that, and I quote, he told reporters it was interesting in selecting Brock Purdy. He was interested in selecting Brock Purdy, who was about to play one of the biggest games around there right now. The number one thing is, he said, I think that Brock Purdy is an amazing player because I played against him at Iowa State. Rule also went on to say that during his program's National Signing Day press conference, when I was in the draft room at Carolina, I brought his name up. I said, hey guys, he should be on the draft board. I got vetoed on that one. Oh my God. And now, when I heard the word vetoed, go, it reminds me of one distinct fella in the Carolina Panther world that used that word. Do you got any ideas who that may have been?
There's one guy that says he has veto uh power, if you will. That's what he says. He always says he has veto power. And his name would be one David Lemon Pepper Stepper Tepper.
Man, look at here. I'm gonna tell you one thing. David Tepper, if now to all you Carolina Panthers who are sitting right here and you watching Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl, if you could digest the pill that he could potentially have been your quarterback, this could have been your leader of the team. This could have been your franchise guy, and he's in the
Your
Super Bowl for
guy,
San Fran. San Fran strikes again with another player that we had. Let that
your
sink in.
guy, your guy, Jeff R. Carolina Blue 843, Destiny King. What's going on? Justin Long. I see y'all, man. Y'all keep coming on in, man. Carolina Logic, Agent 704. Texas Swarm. What's going on? Keep coming on in. Chad 704 Chad. What's up, man? What's up, man? We getting started. This is a little late night. Like I said, man, we're gonna start rocking them Black Cat Panther After Darks. We just giving you a little tidbit on the time. But y'all keep that. That's gonna be a members only show. But y'all keep that in your back pocket. We're gonna roll that out here and we get ready to start rolling that out in just a little bit for you. But come
Yes,
on
sir.
in, wipe your feet off, man. Ring the bell. Don't even bring that bullshit on up in here. Y'all know what time it is. Let's get it.
And amongst that, in other news, there is so much going on in the Carolina Panther world right now. You got Steve Wilkes when he was asked this week in reports when it comes to was he bitter about his departure, about leaving Carolina, and simply put, nah, I'm in the Super Bowl, bro. I'm like,
Yeah,
shout out to everybody who trying to create a narrative with Steve Wilkes. The man is in a Super Bowl. Why would he rather have been sitting at home this week when he is in one of the most highly touted, most anticipated Super Bowls we have seen in a while? Now be mindful, if he wins this Super Bowl gold, you could be talking about one of the forefront leaders in next year's coaching search.
He
I
will.
mean,
He will be. He
go
will be.
ahead.
He will be because okay, you got to look at it. Um, man, what's just had the biggest brain fart. The guy over there with the Jets, the coach with the Jets that had the job before, Robert Sala. Robert Sala took the team to an NFC championship, and he went and got a head coaching job because he put together that 49ers defense, that this shutout type defense with Nick Bosa and the rest of the crew, and then D'Amico Ryans. He gets a head coaching job because he took over for Robert, and it looked like the defense didn't miss a beat. Now Steve takes that same defense in that same NFC championship and mounts a comeback shutout of the Detroit Lions. Wow.
Hmm.
Then let's go to the Super Bowl and win the whole thing. If he does that, Q, there's no way Steve Wilkes doesn't get a second chance at being a head coach. I mean, it'll have to be something. Something. They got a blackball up against the man. That's
I
all I can
agree.
say.
First of all, first and foremost, shout out to Steve Wilkes. Brother, we congratulate you and we say it is truly proud to have known that you were in our locker rooms at one time and you are now standing in the locker room of a successful franchise. So first and foremost to you, brother, it is Black History Month and we salute you to doing a hell of a job over there, man, making
No
everybody
doubt,
in the
Steve.
Carolinas feel proud. Yes,
No
sir.
doubt, Steve.
And
Charlotte's
I'm gonna
own.
tell you, oh yeah, Charlotte's own. And I'm gonna tell you like this right here, another one of Charlotte's own, as has been inducted into the Hall of Fame first
Woo!
ballot.
First ballot, big,
First ballot.
big, doing it big. Number one. Think about it. 5 years retired, you gotta be. Then you can go on over there to get your bus, to get your yellow jacket. First time putting his name in, he knocks it out the park. Big number 90, JP Julius Peppers. No doubt.
Yes, sir.
Big.
I don't think we ever like as we take this moment to congratulate him. I don't think we have ever had anybody inducted into the Hall of Fame. And so, shouts out to everybody in the chat. Everybody, if you got the peppers emoji, I'd like to see it in the chat right now. Make sure you show that support. He is our very first Carolina Panther to make the Hall of Fame, and he made it in one ballot. So, shout out to him, man. I'm so excited because watching him as one of my favorite players growing up. You knew Pep had it the moment he stepped on the field, and to have this guy, I mean, our very own guy, come out here and represent and put on for the Carolinas, I feel, I can't be any prouder, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Now you got Sam Mills, but like we raised Pep from a pup. You know what I'm saying? We raised Pep from a pup. We drafted him. We did this. We did that. Yeah, he left for a little stint because the same thing. I ain't gonna say it like a Brian Burns because you didn't want
They
to give
didn't
him
want
any
to pay
money.
him.
They didn't
Huh.
want to set up the defense like this, like that. So you know how we do over here. You know how we do. So he had to go to Green Bay, Chicago, this, that, right there. But he came back, and now he's in the hall. He's our guy, man. Yeah, he might have went somewhere else, but he's our guy. North
Hmm.
Carolina's own. North Carolina, born, bred, dead, played at Carolina, the whole nine, going into the bowl or the fame, the hall as a Panther. Don't
Yes,
get no
sir.
better.
and
Don't get
and
no
you can
better.
already say during his time and his tenure, he didn't have to worry about so much stuff going in the locker room. Hint, hint, hint. There's a certain quarterback right now that's really speaking on what's going on in the locker rooms with the Carolina Panthers. That's not even on the team anymore. He's in a different
Yeah,
locker room, and he
yeah,
had something very interesting to say about our own organization. Can you
yes,
guess
sir.
how that went, Go?
He keeps a this dude, man. He keeps a mouth full of Panther. He keeps a mouth full of Panther. That's what he does. He keeps a mouth full of panther. Oh my goodness. His name is Matthew Rule.
Oh
Coach
my God.
Matthew Rule.
Well,
I
I'm talking
used
about
to
the
now.
quarterback on that one. I'm talking about the quarterback one
Oh,
on that one.
oh, you
There's
talking about
another one.
Mayfield? You talking about Baker?
Oh yeah, Baker.
Okay.
Don't worry. We're gonna get right back to Matt Rule. But
Yeah,
Baker
yeah,
Mayfield
yeah.
today, when was
Baker.
asked about the Carolina Panthers, he said he hinted at some dysfunction in the organization itself. And let me tell you what he said. He said, I mean, it starts top down, he replied. How they run the organization and everybody being on the same page. Just. And also, how do you win games? When you got a lot of voices going on behind the scenes, you're making distractions for your players. You're not putting them in a good position to have success and play free. So for me, getting to Tampa, it was refreshing. I said, oh my God. Here
Now
we go,
see, he
another
talked about
player. Hmm.
and see now Baker being Baker. And y'all Baker, you had a good year, this and that. But let's don't get it twisted, Bake. How you ran your mouth and then underperform. Oh, all that junk he talked before they played Cleveland and underperformed, didn't show up. Let's don't talk about like Tampa Bay was calling you looking for you, bruh. You understand what I'm saying? Because the word on the street is you called the GM in Tampa and begged him for one more shot. They weren't looking for you. They was getting ready to start the year with Kyle Trask. So don't come like, somebody was looking for you, Hoss. Now you get ready to get your contract, they get ready to go with you. And like I always tell y'all, when the real Baker show up, don't call me. Don't call me when the real Baker show up.
Man, look, shout out to everybody in the chat right now. If you're in here and you're just getting in here, do us the illustrious favor, like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. This is just a night. We have so many topics we're trying to get to. It's so much news going on in the Carolina Panther world right now. I'm trying to manage and maintain, my God, from Matt Rule coming out here talking his trash about the organization, saying what he said, essentially and just to paraphrase it, I had a chance to get Brock Purdy. I was shut down by your illustrious owner. The same owner that Baker Mayfield is talking about. The same owner that everybody out here is saying that right now, Canales and Dan Morgan, they're the hottest 1-2 tandem in the league right now. We even have people going as far as saying we're going to win the division. And we just now getting through one of the hardest times that I have ever seen. I mean, it was just a short little while ago. We were sitting at the podium when Matt Rule and Scott Federer was talking about some of these players that Dan Morgan had a hand picking. He had a hand picking some of these guys, driver.
Yeah, cause Matt Rule used the word veto. Like you said,
Yeah,
who came on and used that word that he would veto somebody? That's a very Pacific word, Q. Pacific word,
talk
veto.
about it.
Like you hear that word a lot in elections, or if they're voting on something, and when the man, like the chairman of the board, or the speaker of the house, or the president, or whatever, he's the one that has so-called veto power. And so the last word, the last stand. David Tepper always talks about his veto power, and he's the one that writes the checks. So that's just like when you, in our world, we call that stunting. You know what I'm saying, Q? We call that stunting on somebody. So
Yes,
when
sir.
you get ready to stunt on somebody, you shut them down, right?
Hmm.
Veto power. Veto power. Matt Rule got shut down, y'all.
Well, I got this question for you, Go. Now that we here and we on this topic now, like I said, was Matt Rule did we misjudge Matt Rule's tenure because of what he had to go through with Tepper? Was it so many or so much obstacles being shut down player after player piece. Remember, he first said he would have went and got free agents if
Yeah.
he known his time was gonna come to an end. Was Matt
Mm.
Rule being shut down on the regular by David Tepper?
I don't think at first, but I do know right there at it toward the end that he was. At the beginning, he wasn't. At the end, he was. It got a little bit of proof to show you guys that at the end, he was getting his ass vetoed on.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this right here. This is all gonna tie within itself. I got a couple of footage that I want to show you guys about Pantherland and how excited Pantherland was to get some of these players that they believe it was going to take us to the next level. Little did we know, a lot of these guys after the coach got fired, they all got cut.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take this moment and go back and take a short time to see what went wrong and how what we could have done to potentially change that a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Come on and take a ride with us.
If you want to go and take a ride with me, let's get it. Yeah. So here we go.
Matt, could you begin by just kind of running down today's picks and what you liked about each of those guys?
I think, Scott called me on the way in this morning with the potential of maybe moving up. We talked about certain guys. Brandon Smith was a guy that we've targeted for a long time. I don't know, Scott, 6'4", 250 pounds, 4'5", 40. Part of that group of kids. He's young. He came out early. You see all the physical traits, especially in this division where you have to, have linebackers who can run with tight ends, run with running backs. And so just being persistent enough to find a way to get back into the fourth. To think yesterday we didn't have a second or third. We got into the third. We were able to get back into the fourth, pick up a physical, specimen like Brandon Smith, and then follow that up by, two other of the fastest players.
Exhibit number one. Brandon Smith was the first guy that they said, hey, we think could be a game changer here in Carolina. A linebacker that could not wrap up, had tackling issues, and we picked him in the 4th round, thinking that
Fourth
he could be
round
a
talent.
starter for us here in Carolina.
Fourth
A
round
starter.
talent. We're doing this show, one, because Matt Rule ran his mouth. Number two, we're showing y'all how they think. What the nigga say? He said Scott called him this morning.
They tell you it wasn't thought
Morning.
out. It wasn't thought
Wasn't
out
thought
at
out.
all.
Wasn't thought out at all now. These are the same. Oh my God. Scott called me this morning, y'all. Think about it. Why are you making decisions the morning before the draft? You're supposed to do you see what time it is now? It's
Mm-hmm.
March, y'all. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
February. Okay, so they were here. Both of them was already here. This ain't a new coaching staff. And by this time, this is their third draft. No, yeah, right, third draft, Q.
This was his
Second
third
draft.
draft. Yeah.
What?
This is
Yeah,
third. This was his
whatever.
last draft.
Dude,
Mm-hmm.
you already here. You ain't trying to put a coaching staff together. You ain't doing nothing. You should have already had your board together. You done had a month and some change. But this is April, y'all. Right now, I'm sitting here right now in February. So season over in June. January. Excuse me. Dang, I gotta get my money. January. We sit here in February. The
Tighten
draft is
up.
in
Tighten
April.
up.
I'm sorry. The draft is in April. He talking to you, talking about Scott called him this morning. What you been doing the last 4 months, bro? What you been
Well,
doing the
now
last 4 months, bro?
there's one word that I want you to make sure you put on your timeline, go, and it's called scouting. Now, where in the hell is that damn Dan Morgan that was the
Uh-huh.
GM? Where was
Roll
he
that
at, and why?
roll that
Lord.
beautiful bean footage.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
Roll
shall
that
shut
beautiful
my
bean
mouth.
footage.
Let's get back to it.
Players in the draft. So really excited about the moves that were made to get Brandon here.
We'll go with Steve Reed, followed by Jonathan Alexander.
Hey, Matt, just wanted to put your talent evaluation to the test here. And what would you say was a better NFL prospect, Matt Rhule coming out of Penn State or Brandon Smith?
Yeah, I got a text that Brandon didn't know that I played there. You'd be surprised that there's not a lot of pictures of me hanging at the Penn State football facility, save for like, LeVar Arrington, Jack Ham, those types of guys, Shane Conlon. But in all seriousness, yeah, Brandon's got all the tools to be a great talent, a great player. Now it's up to the real work starts, right? You take guys coming out after 3 years, especially with the COVID year. Coach Franklin and them do a great job, but we really have to really get them here and get them to learn our system so we can get them on the field as fast as possible.
Matt, I assume this is the case, but you did recruit Kalen Barnes, correct?
Yeah, I recruited Boogie and then coached him for I guess it would be 2 years now.
And what do you remember of that time, and how is it to bring him, to Carolina, somebody that you knew ahead of time?
I think the biggest thing is, he's, I remember, he went and raced, Schwartz, he ran like a 10-100. I mean, he's a track athlete who plays corner at 6 foot. At the end of the day, we were going back and forth between two players, and Scott made the decision to, at the end of the draft, we're really going with traits. But Evan Cooper's our DB coach. He coached him. He's smart. He's competitive. But he's 4.28. He's one of the fastest guys to run the.
I got a question for you, Go. The
Yes,
corner
sir.
that they're talking about on this team, is he still here? 1 year later.
Um, heck
This a
no.
quiet. Oh
no.
man.
He didn't
And
even
quiet.
play. He never played. He never played. Wasted pick. He never played.
Now be mindful. I'm not the smartest person, but they said let's put your talent evaluation. Who the hell cracks a joke with the coach and said let's put your talent evaluation to the test?
Oh my goodness.
Now you
But
see
that-
why this dumb
hey.
son of a bitch is back in Nebraska.
But not in here. Hey, keep on showing it. Keep on showing it. It gets better, y'all. It gets
Oh, yeah.
better. It
Oh,
gets
yeah.
better.
The combine. So, I've had a lot of players that played for me in this draft that went. I had a lot of fun FaceTimes with guys that went in day 2 from Baylor. But we brought Boogie here not because I coached him, but because he can flat fly, and so put him in a room with guys like J.C. Horn and Dante Jackson, let him really learn his craft, and I think he could potentially emerge as a player.
Once again, Go. How is that working out?
Hey, it worked out great for him. I guess it got him up out of here. It got him to the draft. Hey, that's the only thing he can say. He got a check off for it.
Okay. I'm gonna continue. Yes, sir.
We go David Newman, followed by Ellis Williams.
Hey, Matt. Congrats on your draft there. What do you like best about this class?
Well, I think it's a rare time when we're able to address need and take what we felt like was the best player possible. And again, Scott, I thought did an amazing job of, it's what is it now? It's multiple trades yet again for the second year. So we were able to, we felt like, and I think we said this, I think Scott said it, we feel like we have a really deep team now. We feel like over the last couple of years, we've built depth. Scott's done a great job of going out at, the 53.
I had to stop right there on that word that he said, depth.
Depth.
Not depth. This cat said we did multiple trades and Scott did a really good job of building this roster with a lot of depth.
With a lot of depth.
Matt Rhule said this.
And y'all please take in mind. Y'all probably say, what y'all doing? Matt Rhule and this and that. Y'all, this was only 2 years ago. This was
Yeah,
only 2 years ago, bro. It
this wasn't
takes at
5 years
least,
ago.
put it in your mind state. It takes at least 3 years to even build a roster. You can't build one overnight. So if this dumb mess right here was going on only 2 years, we're only one draft. We're one draft removed from this. One draft removed 2 years ago in seasons. Mind you.
Yeah.
And this dude, those same depth pieces that he was talking about made us have 6 right guards and 8 different left guards this year. That same depth, and none of them can't play. That same depth, y'all, that he's talking about.
Yes, sir. And the number one thing is talent evaluation. If you get it wrong, you tear a franchise apart. If you get it right, you keep
Oh,
those players, you re-sign those players, and you build a culture. But that's the thing. Have we gotten to the point where a culture was built here under Coach Rule? No, sir. Then he gets fired. Then you look around. Frank Rule comes in with a handful of those players from last year. I mean, hell, we're still in the season with Frank Wright. The season has not, the Super Bowl has not been won yet, so the season still goes on. We're in the season where Frank Wright was just fired about 6-7 weeks ago. I hope y'all
yeah,
know that.
you still dealing, like I said, you still dealing with these players that this nigga call good depth. You understand what I'm saying? Still got the same offensive line woes, uh, offensive interior woes. Don't know if you're gonna keep the same center, guard, whatever. You still dealing with the same mess right now.
Just 1 year later, bro. I mean, 2022, this was the draft where he was sitting there. 2023, Frank Wright was sitting at the podium talking about he brought in Bryce. That's this past year right here. Hello.
Yes,
I hope y'all know it's really one calendar year in between this.
one calendar year, 2 seasons. April will make 2
Mm.
drafts. It ain't even been 2 years. It ain't even been 2 years. Third coach. Third coach.
Three coaches in amongst 2 years. And this is the number one thing we keep telling y'all. Y'all see Scott Fitterer where they talking about these trades. Guess who was right there signing off on them trades along with Scott Fitterer? That
Oh, it
helped
gets
mess the
better.
team up.
It gets better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna keep going. Here we go.
Yeah, yeah.
3 cut at the end of the year and bringing guys in to build depth, and we wanted some impact players. And so, to me, Icky has a chance to be an impact player. You know, helping our offensive line, which has been obviously coming out of the end of the season, something that we wanted to improve. Matt Corral's a guy that we were talking about, being a day one pick for us. For whatever reason, he was available in the 3rd round. We made the move to go get him. But then I think the athleticism of today, to take Brandon Smith, Barno at what I don't know, it's got 6'5", 6'4". He ran 4.38. And then Boogie.
This son of a bitch don't even know how big Barno is, but he drafted him. Oh, okay. Well, let me get back to this video.
At 4.28. I think having guys who run that fast, they just make your special teams better. When a guy like Brian Burns needs a blow or Marquise Haynes needs a blow, you have a guy like Barno that can step in and has the same skill set. So I like the fact that we got targeted guys, the right guys, and then to add, Cade May is a guy we had ranked really highly on the offensive line to bring some depth inside. I think that's really good as well. So I think it's really targeted. We got great value. Never thought that we'd get Icky, fired up to get Icky. Never thought that we'd end up with Matt. We got Matt. So today was just a blessing.
Oh my God.
Is there one position that you leave the draft with feeling you got to upgrade still?
Yeah, I'd say a return specialist. We need someone to emerge in that area. We have some people on our team that can do it, but we'll look into free agency and some other places for a return specialist.
They asked this dumb nigga a question and he didn't even get the question. They asked him, was there one position in the draft you think you upgraded at? And this bitch say return specialist, we got to go out and look for it in free agency. You stupid son of a bitch. He was asking you a question about what did you thought about what you drafted. He didn't even get it. Go. Huh? I'm going to shut the fuck up.
This cat says Marquise Haynes, Amari Barno, if Brian Burns needs a blow, he's talking about a 6th rounder now in Amari Barno, 5th or 6th rounder, whatever he was.
Mm-hmm.
Marquise Haynes, who ain't seen the field at all this year for no time. A corner who didn't even really make the roster.
Mm-hmm.
And Ikem Ekwonu, now, this just a
The
year
only.
ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just a year ago, yeah, the man just told you solidify the position. But y'all want to move him to guard now. He's so bad. He's so bad now that y'all want to move to guard. But his numbers look the same as they did a year ago when this dude was talking just about it. Meaning,
Mm-hmm.
and there's only 2 key things that's evident all the time. It's bad quarterback play and coaching. But the boys' numbers is the same. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all. The guys' numbers is the same. Hell, they look like they improving. You know what I'm saying? If you really look at it. But throughout that whole line, it's a key factor that sets in there for everybody's numbers if you break it down. Bad quarterback play coaching. Those are the 2 things. But y'all see now what they talking about, these players. And you talking about, now mind you talking about players that were drafted 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round. These guys are not needle movers. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Now, be mindful when you talk about drafting players. You're supposed to, in 2022 was supposed to set up 2024 where we heading into
Exactly.
now. You're supposed to have
Exactly.
players already in place. That way, all you don't draft, you don't go reaching for players when you already have depth, true depth in those areas. That's what I
Yeah.
say. Scott Fitterer, look, Matt Rule, Dan Morgan, all these guys that was here did not do. You can't tell me that Dan Morgan disagreed with every single pick every time he put a draft together,
Yeah.
and every single pick he said, "Nah, I don't like that." He had to agree with something along the way, but nobody
Yeah.
wants to even look his direction to even say, "Hey, he's a part of this." So I rest my case. I'm gonna go back to the video.
Thanks. Appreciate it, guys.
Matt, I know you've touched on it, but I'm going to ask you to elaborate on Scott and the scouting department's job this weekend after really I know this was their 2nd draft, but really
Here we
their
go.
first full year of being able to, have their foot on the ground and be the scouting department they want to be. I know you lived it, but from landing a top tackle to staying in contact with Cleveland while simultaneously negotiating for number 94 to then trading back up for Brandon Smith, to landing an edge rusher, a corner, an O-lineman. Just what do you make of Scott and the scouting department's work this weekend and their ability to execute your game plan?
Yeah, I would say that Scott's greatest impact comes when you look at the work being done by people whose names we don't ever hear, right? When it's Samantha Diamond as a scouting coordinator, when it's all the assistants on the road, it's the scouting interns in place, because it's amazing. Like, you spend thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of manpower to write these reports and get all the background and get all this information on players so that you can make a decision on a clock in 8 minutes. And so I think Scott has built a really well, finely tuned, oiled machine. I think he does an amazing job of giving people a say, but at the same time, having a standard for what he wants. Dan Morgan is, I think a tremendous.
Here we go. There it is.
Component to that. Cole Spencer,
there it is.
Scouting, really firm in what he believes in, but still, loves to talk and discuss. I think Samir does a fantastic job. In terms of being disciplined.
I'll be damned.
But there's many, many, many others.
Discipline.
And at the end of the day, what I love about working with Scott is, he spends so much time around our team that he understands, hey, this is how we want to play. This is what we need to make our team better. And so his constant question is, hey, what's the vision for this player? How are we going to use him? So he's not just picking based on ego or instinct or anything. He's picking based upon how are we going to use this player and how are we going to win. And I think his whole staff is representative of that. And I'll just finish by saying, 2 years ago, there was a combine and no There were no 30 visits. There were no pro days really. Then last year there was no combine. There was, a couple pro days, no 30 visits. This was the first year where everything came to fruition. And so I think in a year where we were limited in picks, we got a tremendous amount of value. And I think it started in free agency. And I think it's a credit to Scott, but also, Dan, Pat, all the guys he has executing this.
Dan.
Thanks, Coach.
Dan.
All right, we're finishing up with Joe Person, followed by Chris Jenkins.
Hey guys, you may have addressed this, I'm sorry. But it seemed like today there was a trend, tradesy kind of defensive players whose college production was good, but seems like the potential is even greater. Was that the idea, and where was that born?
Well, it's basically what presented itself on the board. When you're looking at there were a lot of good accomplished players that had gone, and was standing there's a bunch of really athletic, almost freakish athletic guys. And we're a draft and develop organization. That's where we trust our coaches to get
developmentals.
We have a vision for them. And so once we get them here, they become ours. We can get them with the
you see what he tried to do right there? Oh, freakishly talented guys. We're a developmental organization. Oh, okay. Yeah. You picked a bunch of developmental guys that you know damn well can't get out here and start on this team. You knew that. But I rest my case.
Coaches, put them in a position where they can excel. And so that's what we plan to do with these guys. And until they do that, until they become impact position players, we know that they can contribute on special teams with their speed and athleticism.
And then a quick follow-up, and I think you mentioned this, Scott, I don't know what day it was this week, but you weren't really that concerned about numbers this year. You just wanted good players. I wondered if you might expand on that, please.
I think last year, I think we ended up with, 11 draft picks last year, several free agents. This year we came into it with fewer draft picks. So our intention was, let's get quality players. Let's get guys that can come in and help us, whether it's on special teams or come in, add depth, or come in and compete. Someone like Icky, those are the type of players that we were focused on this year. And then, we're going to use the rest of the year, the 53-man cut. We'll use the trade deadline. It's just not the draft. There's several other avenues to acquire. And so we're going to keep our eyes open for those as well.
How many UDFAs or undrafted guys do you expect?
Working on that right now. Our guys are upstairs calling. I can't remember if it was like 12 or so. Is that what it was?
Something like that,
yeah. We expect to fill those, though.
Hey, this is Chris Jenkins from Charlotte Vibe. Sorry, my video went out, guys. A little piggyback off of Joe's question, but I know earlier you mentioned about return specialists being a big need. I was just wondering, seems like with this draft, you guys got a lot of the big priorities checked off. What are the next priorities, and what would that process be like for the undrafted and the free agents for the guys next? For you, Scott.
Well, like you said, obviously the return game is one area we want to improve. We just want to improve depth everywhere in that competition. So whether it's a linebacker, whether it's a DB, there's other spots that we're going to add to this, receivers, we'll do that. And we're going to do that through free agency at this point.
I'm going to stop right there because I've been waiting for this summer bitch to add depth. And I'm still waiting. Here it is, 2024. They claimed it was going to add depth and get guys through free agency. Who did you see come through free agency, driver?
I ain't see shit come through free agency. Not nothing.
Oh, Justin Houston, my bad. Justin Houston came.
So, if you know anything, free agency starts in March. The draft is in April. So free agency is over. See, that motherfucker lying right there already. He must be talking about next year's free agency because or free agency at the trade deadline or something like that. See, if you're thinking like this, and y'all on that video to Scott Fitterer's right or to his left, none other than Dan Morgan was sitting over there. None other than Dan Morgan was sitting over there. Your present GM. So and then you hear Matt Rhule say 2 times he alluded to Dan Morgan and the scouting team. Dan Morgan was the one that was scouting, bringing these motherfucking people to him and Federer. So we asked the question all week since this guy got that job. Hey, Dan Morgan sat right there for the last 2 years. And a lot of y'all wanting to turn your head and avoid the question. That's proof in the pudding right there. He was there. He had his hand in it. Matt Rhule just alluded to about 3 players. 3 players, bruh, that didn't even make the team the next year. Brandon Smith, who was supposed to be the future, didn't even make the team. Wasted draft pick. But y'all think this guy getting ready to take what we got, Q? We don't got a first rounder, second round, third round,
We
fourth
got
round, fifth
6
round.
picks, I believe.
6
Second,
picks.
third, fourth, 2 fifths, and a 6.
Low draft picks. That
Oh,
go
there go the
Dan right
summer
there.
bitch right there. Let me
Dan
see what
right
he gonna
there.
say. Let's see what he say on this one.
See what I'm saying?
Here we go.
I
That's
felt
your
like you
boy.
might feel left out. You're of the
Thanks,
guys
Mike.
at the podium there. You're the most recent guy that's played, and obviously you've worked with Scott in the past. So what is your perspective on the guys that are coming into the draft, and because you kind of view them with that former player eye, I would think to a certain degree.
Yeah, I think there's some talented players in this draft. I think there's a lot of depth throughout. I think some positions are a little heavier than others. I would say, like O-line, obviously, I think that's pretty strong position, which is, that's a need of ours. Quarterback, I think there's some quarterbacks there that we like. So we feel good about a lot of different positions and the depth that is in this draft to help us out.
But in terms of how you yourself are looking at these guys as you're helping build these reports for the guys on the board, I mean, do you kind of have a different look? Because you can, I think, with a better perspective, notice a guy's footwork or athleticism, or how would this guy get away from me, or how would he play alongside me as a former player?
Right. I mean, I think just in terms of being a former player, I think a lot of these guys have played too, so they have a perspective as well. But yeah, no, I definitely, think, in terms of me looking at it, I can maybe see some things that some other guys can't, in terms of the competitor, what scheme they're in. Are they doing the right thing in that scheme if they're playing a certain coverage or, certain protection or little things like that. I definitely feel like I have a good eye for that, for sure. So
okay.
I think it definitely helps out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes.
Q, I think you mute. Did you mute yourself, Q? Did you mute yourself?
Oh yeah. I fuck around, hit the mute button. This is the same draft, and I think that prior to that draft, Dan Morgan sat there and told us how much of okay, I'm well aware that I got an eye for scouting some of these guys up here play. I didn't know Scott Fitterer did no damn playing up there.
No.
Scott Fitterer used to play?
I don't know nothing about Scott Fitterer. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't remember seeing
Matt Rhule played at Penn State. He didn't play. I mean, he was on the team, around the team. I don't know. Man, them jokers ain't playing no ball, man. Anyway, that's why I kept telling y'all. And y'all stood me down. No, I don't think Dan Morgan had no voice. Dan Morgan ain't had no voice in this thing. They're going to video proof.
Dirty.
Now call
Just
me a
as
lie.
dirty.
They're going to video proof right there. Every time I bust y'all in the head. Everybody that came on here last week talking about, no, Dan Morgan ain't that. Dan Morgan ain't. How much did they listen to him and this and that? The man just told you he the one set up the board.
Just
he the one set up the board.
Just alone. The point that we're trying to prove in the last 2 years, everybody from last year's draft Only Icky is the only man standing from last year's draft. This year, like I said, the year before that, the same draft with Smith and them boys. Like I said, it was a terrible draft. This guy is over scouting, and he's your new GM. And what we're saying is be ready to suffer a little bit more. Maybe
Yes.
I got to put it in a different language. El Suffero, El Dan Morgano, jackass of a GMO.
Justin Long.
Hey.
These are the same guys, Justin Long. It's the same crew, Justin Long. That's the point we trying to make. It's the same people, Justin Long. Can you get it? Please, bruh. It's the same people.
I gotta put this bitch
The
in
same
braille for you
people
to
are still
understand
in
it.
charge. Yes, still in charge. My God, man. The man said he set up the board. He just told you he was the one that set the board up. So guess what he getting ready to do this year? Set the board up. Now we getting ready to do mock draft after mock draft, and y'all getting ready. I think we should draft this guy. Oh, we should go in free agency. The same dude just did it. This was only a year ago.
Oh, they get on our ass now. Look at that. My man said, come on, let me have some blind hope. No, I'm not here to lie to you.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, you be blind.
Hey,
I ain't gonna be
check this
blind,
out.
bro.
Hey, Carlos said we focus on the wrong shit. No, motherfucker, we trying to tell you the shit that's going down. Your dumb ass don't want to listen. You want to be a hardhead motherfucker.
Man, I can't believe that happened. 3 years now. 3 years of doing the same shit. Guess what they say? I can't believe that happened. I'm showing
Niggas
you it
don't
happened
listen.
just last year. I'm trying to
Niggas
show
don't
you.
listen. All I'm trying to do is prepare y'all for when shit go left and be like, hey, well, if it go right, hey, everything go right. But when it go left, and if it goes left, I'ma just say, I try to show y'all the film on this shit.
Golly. It's amazing. It baffles me, man. It makes my head smoke, bruh. Just like, and then they show y'all a video of Dan Morgan running down the field in 2002 and 2003, and y'all forget about just something that just happened last year. You start having nostalgia about 2003, 2004, but you forget about something that happened last year before last. You can't remember he was sitting right there beside Scott, talking about he set the board up. I told y'all that, but y'all called me a lie. Now
Shout
I
out to
got the man
Kevy
standing
Kev.
out his own mouth. I told
Kevy
y'all that.
Kev. He said, what gets me is that people will acknowledge that the team is full of bad players picked by Scott, Dan, and Tepper, but act like they suddenly got it right with Bryce. I mean, that's all we saying, bro. Hey, shout out to MDJ. I hope you catch indigestion, you hard head motherfucker.
This is ruining your dinner, nigga. This is ruining your dinner. God.
Look, the number one thing is we're praying that everything turns out to be right. But I got a gut feeling, and I'm usually not wrong. Like I said, it's the same gut feeling I told y'all Frank Red was gonna get fired with. I got a gut feeling that Dan Morgan is the same Dan Morgan. Leopards don't change stripes overnight. The great GOAT told us this week in and week out. And I'm just telling you guys, I don't expect much to change in 2024. We got people out here saying we're going to win the division. How the fuck we going to do that? And we just went 2-15. 2-15.
Canales is God. We getting ready to do a turnaround. We got Canales. I think Tepper made the greatest pick on earth.
Yeah.
Brother. Go forward, we gotta look high. I keep telling y'all, it's a reason why the windshield is bigger than the rear view mirror. It's a reason.
But see, you got to understand, a lot of people say, okay, I just went through torture. I just went through one of the roughest times as a Panther fan. I want to forget all this happened, even if it was a week ago. I'm going to forget it. That way, if I don't focus on it, I can go into a whole new realm of positivity. Well, guess what? Life is not built that way. If you burn a house down tomorrow, guess what? You're going to have to go to jail for burning that motherfucker down. You're going to have to live with the consequences of what just happened.
Somebody got to clean up that burnt house, though. Somebody got to bulldoze the rest of that down, the foundation and everything to build a new one. You can't forget about what happened because it's gonna happen to you again. If you forget, if you sweep it under the rug, it's still gonna be dirt up under that rug, y'all. You can't let it lie. We have to go and tell these people like, yo, man, don't try to pull that wool over my eyes. What do you think you're trying to do to me? You trying to fool me, bro? You trying to pull the wool over my eyes? No, I know who set that board up the other year, and now you telling me you giving him full power to do it again?
Yeah, and he sat right there alongside Matt Rhule and said these guys were in the best interest of the Carolina Panthers, the Brandon Smiths, the Barnes, the Barnes, what's the corner?
James Bays, Boogie, from what's the name? From Baylor. Yeah, all them cats. They didn't even make the team.
Yeah. The number one thing is if he went along with that, knowing that these boys were no longer, these were draft picks we wasted, talent we wasted, and you come and sit in my face and tell me you're going to change the Panthers, you need some dogs. You just sat here a year and a half ago and told me you were getting good players to put on this roster because you got faith in these guys. You literally just told me this a year ago. And they asked you specifically, how did you feel when you saw him? Because you're the former player out the crew. This dumb son of a bitch look at Scott, who ain't never played a damn day in his life, and say, yeah, I think we all played. What?
Yeah.
Has this cat been hitting the head? Is something not going on right here? Are we missing something upstairs? Look, I said to myself, when Dan Morgan got this position, he had to do some dirty shit to go to Tepper to get this position, or some brown nosing or some ass kissing. And I pray that that's not what he did to get it. But my mind tells me he did that.
Or either you the only one that wanted the job.
Yeah.
It's one of them. It's what you just said. Dirty or brown nosing. Well, you put brown nose and ass kissing, what you said, you put them two together, or somebody did, or nobody wanted the job. Because we know for a fact there were some people that didn't even come back for the second in-person interview. They did the virtual, but they didn't come back for the second in-person interview.
Yeah, just alone. We're not talking specifically to you. Like, we just talking to Panther fans in general. Like I said, there's a heap of guys, there's a heap of people going around saying right now the Carolina Panthers, after 2-15, just getting Canales and Dan Morgan in the building, is going to win the division next year. This year.
Alone.
Just having him in.
Yeah, they calling these cats the dynamic duo, bro.
Hyping once again.
They got Dan Morgan head on Scotty, Michael Jordan and
Jordan and Scottie Pippen
body. You understand what I'm saying?
God.
Dynamic duo. And all we doing out here is showing y'all that one of these cats have been in the building the whole time. Only a year's draft removed. And this guy just told you he set up the board, and then these guys told you that they were putting in good quality depth pieces. And these were the same guys that gave up these same draft picks. And we had to pick guys in the 4th, 5th, and 6th round and didn't hit on them. Now you getting ready to do the same thing because we don't have a number 1 pick.
Yeah, and like I said, it's an unpopular opinion because the number one thing here at Black Cat, we like to think outside of the box. We like to take things to the next level because for me, I never been a person that just took what people said to me for face value. I have to say, okay, Dan Morgan, you're going to change this. How are you going to go about? Because from the last time we seen you with an opportunity, you went along with some of the worst picks we have ever seen in Panthers history. So it's
Yes.
hard for me to get on board fully, knowing that you just had a full hand, two drafts in a row at messing up the franchise and getting it to the point where it is at right now. That's
Yes.
hard for me to accept.
You did it. You was there. You did it. You did it, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
You right there on that stage. You did it. You got us right here where we supposed to be. And now I'm telling you, you supposed to fix what you messed up
Mm-hmm.
in the first place.
Yes, sir. And that's the thing. Panther fans are so stubborn, so unaccepting to change. They want to stay for what's comfortable. If it's comfortable to say, hey, we're going to take the change and we're expecting for this year to have better players, but you didn't do the groundwork to get these players here. You didn't do the scouting. You didn't start from the ground up to get us to the point where we need to be. Everything is face value with the Carolina Panthers. These guys are just, I hate to say it, they say talking out the side of your neck. That's what they're doing right now. It's
Yeah.
podium talk. It's drinking the Kool-Aid, trying to get people to be bought in. Number one right now, and shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Raymond right there. We see you, brother. We appreciate you. The number one thing a lot of people don't understand is everything they're doing right now is to hype you up because we had the Avengers last year. The Panthers PR team is one of the best in the league at what they do. They come up with different things. Like I said, they already got the fans putting Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen together with Canales and Dan Morgan
Yeah.
being that they're good friends. You are going to see a push like none other for the next
All
month or
this
two.
hype. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing but hype videos. All this nostalgia with Dan Morgan back in the day, showing you in the Super Bowl when we had greatness, when we had hype, when we had a culture. All this PR building, y'all getting ready to see from now to April. Then they gonna them same draft picks, right? They gonna show y'all that they were so good. Q, do you remember what they said our draft, that not that draft that they're talking about, but this
Mhm.
year's draft? I'm gonna even bring y'all in more Karen. What kind of grade did they give us for this year's draft?
They said that this year's draft was going to be a B plus. A lot of people was saying that it was a B minus, B plus because one, you went out and got Bryce, you got the keys to your franchise, you got the quarterback that's supposed to be the game changer for you. Then you turn around and you got him a weapon in Mango, who was supposed to be a 50-50 ball guy. They also said he was supposed to be fluent at running routes, which we didn't see any of that. They also went out third round. They traded a third round pick away. Morgan was involved with that as well, as long as Scott Fitterer. And they got DJ Johnson, which is, I like to say that DJ Johnson was, just in case they traded Brian Burns, he was going to be their fallback plan, because they went out and got a guy similar to Charles Johnson back in the day that didn't get sacks, but he was an edge setter. Now be mindful, you went and you get an edge setter that's supposed to stop the run, but then you put him out there at outside linebacker and tell him to go out and cover people. You throw him outside of his element. I mean, come on, bro. Like, make it make sense to me. You get a guy that's predominantly a pass rusher, and he was a run stopper, an edge setter, and you put him outside there and say, go guard tight ends, go guard the running back in the flat. He can't do it. You setting him up for failure.
And you saying that, and I love the way me and you think that you set up DJ Johnson, right? Okay. And I'm sitting there telling y'all how repetitive this is, how they keep doing the same stuff over and over again. Q just used 2023 draftee DJ Johnson. Now, who were they talking about in the video? 2022 draftee Brandon Smith that they
Yeah.
moved up for to get. They did the same thing for DJ Johnson,
Yes, sir.
who's a defensive end slash linebacker. Brandon Smith is a linebacker slash outside end, gonna rush the quarterback as well, but drop back into coverage. You see what I'm saying? And you moved up to get him. Then you moved up the next year and get DJ Johnson. You just keep making the same mistake of the same mistake of the same mistake. Now, if Brian Burns gets his deal done or whatever, and they end up drafting another edge rusher with that third round pick, guess what? It's a potential DJ Johnson won't even make the damn team.
Well, and you got to think about it. They implemented the 3-4. They started the 3-4 this year. They was running a 3-3-5 the year before. And this is the number one thing. With 3-3-5, you need versatile guys who can come out and rush the quarterback. I think that they were looking at trading every year. They were looking at getting rid of Burns last year. So they said in the fourth round, let me go get a guy that's a freakish athlete like Smith, that just in case we get rid of him, we could throw him out there and let him get after the quarterback and move up for him. They did the same thing with DJ Johnson this year. Okay, are we going to trade Burns? What's Burns going to be? Well, we didn't get the right value for him. Like they were holding out hope just in case they got the value that they wanted for him, so they could have traded him. But
get a big
every year,
that can set the edge and move up.
But they did not pull the trigger because they said, okay, we can't get the deal we want for Burns. But they went and they drafted every year a guy that they feel like if that was to happen, we'll just throw that person out there and watch him develop. You can't do that, bro.
Now, what came out today, Eric Eldenform, he's the lead draft writer for the NFL Network. This is the NFL rookie grades for the NFC South. They did the NFC South, NFC East, West, so on, AFC, boom, boom, boom. Now, everybody said our draft was a B+. Now, this is hindsight after the year. They're giving another grade after everybody finished. They give the Atlanta Falcons, who sits on top of the NFC South, they give the Atlanta Falcons a B-. Y'all, I ain't gonna go over who they got, but I'm just going. Their first round pick was Bijan Robinson. Their first round pick was Bijan Robinson, and they give Atlanta Falcons a B-. Okay, then we go along to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They give them a B-. Now, this is after, mind y'all, this is after the season. So Tampa Bay gets a B-, and they picked in the first round at 19. And they picked, Jakai Kesley. Y'all know that defensive tackle they got, defensive lineman. They picked him number 19. Okay, then we go on to the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints got a C+, and they picked up Brian Bursey out of Clemson, another defensive lineman, and they got a C+ for New Orleans. And Lord behold, who finishes last? The Carolina Panthers. We end up getting, hold up, let me see what the grade they was they gave us. Keeps passing. They gave us a D+. Some of them gave us a D-. We started the year before the stuff panned out. Y'all said it was a B+. After the year, after everything panned out, it shows that it's a D+, D-. And y'all know who our first round pick was, Bryce Young. None of the rest of our draft picks panned out. That's why they gave us a D. They was trying to be nice by saying D+, but it was actually a D-. So you see what I'm saying, Q? And you got some of the same people running the show.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Lay off some of the hype and let's sit back and let's hold them accountable for actually getting talent through the door. Like I said, I refuse. It's been 6 years in a row for me getting super excited for every season, hitting the refresh button, saying what was last year, and I can't do it anymore. Now it's like I'm traumatized. It's like the Carolina Panthers have done so much. It's like, what are we gonna do next? It's like I'm bracing myself for something else coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And it just keeps piling up and piling up and piling up. I want to hit the refresh button, but I need Dan Morgan and Canales to show me. I challenge you brothers to go out here and put this team together and make me out of a liar. Make me out of a guy that's saying Dan Morgan is just as dirty as the guy we just got rid of. Make me sound like a liar. I want to be sounding foolish by the end of this season when we win games.
That's not you saying it, People are saying it, but that's not you saying it. That's not you saying it. Every time we come out here, we're showing clips where these people said it out their own mouth. We're reading articles where people from the NFL Network, Sports Illustrated, Sports Center, all professional writers and everything else is giving this to. That was the grade before. This is the grade after. That's not me. These are the reports. Y'all see these same reports, man, coming out. And they're telling you lie after lie after lie, and then they getting caught on this stuff. They getting caught on this stuff. This is social media. This 2024, bro. Nothing is a secret out here these days. All you gotta do is go look. It's right here, and you catch them in the lie every time. It's the same crap they get into. They just reheating it and trying to feed it to us again, over and over.
And that's what I say. I know just as much as you do. When we go to these games, we expect, like, our biggest plan was to go all the way out to Germany this year. And I said I wanted to travel, but I'm afraid that if I go all the way across the water, and I mean cross the water, we know we facing Patrick Mahomes over there. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. But I said, all that aside, I was going to show my fandom and I was going to, hey, let's go over there and show some love. Let's go over here and show some love. I want to go from here to some of these away games this year and show love. But the number one thing is, if I'm all bought in and invested in the Panthers, I need the Panthers to be bought in and invested in me as much as I'm invested in them. And it don't seem that way a lot of the times when we look at some of the lateral moves that they're making, and we're saying, hey, the number one thing is get the focus together for the Panthers. Let's get scouting departments and let's get them into doing what their job is to get talent on this team, because I believe all the way around this entire team needs to be upgraded from top to bottom. Like I said, we just got a bevy of coaches in the building, but it's time to get some talent. We got over 21 different free agents that's getting ready to walk up out of here as unrestricted free agents. So, bada boom, no contracts, they out of the door. We got about 8, I believe it's 8 restricted free agents that's going to be here that got a chance to sign somewhere else. And if they don't, number one thing is we have a chance to match whatever offers they get. We have a bevy of guys that I say, hey, we need to look into undrafteds. Anybody that's projected to be a 7th round pick right now in these mock drafts, what you're looking for, you need to start doing your research on some of these players and say, hey, we need to look at some of these guys because they're going to be potentially falling to us, because 7th rounders that's projected right now are less likely to get drafted. We need to have a list of undrafted guys to build this team. We brought 13 of them in last year. We need to bring at least 20, 25 of them in this year. Yeah. And I'm talking about both sides of the football, bringing in guys, seeing which way that they fall, seeing if there is some diamonds in the rough. And if you sign them, don't cut them. Give them an opportunity to play. Yeah. A lot of those guys didn't get an opportunity to play last year. The Rajon Wrights, the Kobe Richardsons, the Jalen Redmonds at D tackle, the Bumper Pools that we brought in at linebacker. A lot of those guys got signed and cut just like that. They didn't even get a chance to showcase what they had.
Mm-hmm. They needed them to be needle movers, and those guys wasn't needle movers. That's why they were drafted, or they were projected to be drafted where they were, because maybe they didn't have the right technique, or maybe they only fit in certain types of schemes for people, or maybe they had footwork issues or hand placement issues or things like that. That's what you call a developmental player. But that's what you're going to get when you start picking low 3rd round, 4th round, this and that. And that's what type of picks we had. Why? Because we gave away picks because we've been chasing quarterbacks for the last 4 years since Cam Newton. We've been chasing down quarterbacks. So we've been giving up picks. So we've been having to pick now we don't even have a 1st round pick, and we got the same guys pulling the trigger on the talent. And
Well,
every
this.
year, go ahead, Q.
Oh no, you got it. You got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, every year you do that, and you get rid of coaches, and you get rid of coaching staffs, and new coaching staffs come in. Even I'm ready. Like I said, we said it yesterday. Omar Tillman was in here. He said it. Me and him agreed yesterday, and we say, look, bro, you have to tear this mug down and say that dirty word, rebuild. You gotta say, and you just don't gotta say it. You gotta do it, and you gotta commit to it. You gotta
What we talked
commit to
about
it.
today, go. The Vikings are looking to start rebuilding. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir. The
And they're
Vikings,
potentially talking about trading who?
Justin Jefferson, JJ himself.
Okay, I rest my case. One of the top players in the NFL, a top 5 player in the NFL right now, who you know can miss an entire, what was it, 10 games, 7 games, and come back for 10 games and give you still 1,000 yards at receiver? They're talking about
Yes.
potentially getting rid of that guy because Captain Kirk has been there and they have been mediocre, not getting over the hump. They got rid of Dalvin Cook last year. Daniil Hunter is another guy they're looking to get rid of.
Haven't
They have
signed him yet.
star powers, but they just can't seem to get over the hump. So they're looking at this thing and saying, let's get a young, youthful quarterback in here and start over from the ground up. I'm looking at these boys. I'm listening to what's going on. Shout out to my boys to the Prepper Pocket Podcast, man. Oh, it's Vocal Mike now. Vocal Vike. Shout out to them over there. I keep my
Oh,
eyes
they
and my
changed
ears
the
to
name.
everybody. Yeah, they changed
They
the
changed.
name.
Okay, yeah, man.
It's
Shout
Vocal
out them
Vike.
boys. Vocal Vite, Vocal Vite. They formerly known as Purple Pocket Podcast. Yeah, Vocal Vite.
hmm So it's
But
one of the things, man. I not only listen to what we have going on in the Carolina Panther community, but I keep my eyes open to what's going on in the NFL. And that's why I tell you guys, you gotta know when to start a rebuild. And if you commit to a rebuild, you don't go halfway in. You say,
yeah,
okay, let's get players in here, let's get motion going, let's put a scheme together and stick to the scheme. Commitment is everything. We have committed to doing it. Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of these people want to see some of these players go. And I think that's the biggest problem right there, go.
yeah, I hear you right quick. Hold on, Q. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got you. This is one of the ones where number one thing is the Carolina Panthers are in a unique spot where we have talent on the team in Brian Burns, you have Derek Brown and some of these guys, you have also JC Horn, you have a lot of the defensive pieces that Ajero Everett will be coming back for his second year out of his 3-year contract. He'll be coming back to coach a lot of these guys. The question I said yesterday is if you want to create a culture, you resign some of these guys, and then, like I said, you get started and paying some of these guys. But the Carolina Panthers have gotten into a unique spot where they mismanage a lot of these players. You can't keep a Brian Burns now and expect for a culture to be reset. I think he knows just about that he's pretty much out of the door. I think everybody knows that JC Horn is pretty much out of the door because
Mhm.
he'll be coming up for his 4th year, and you have to decide the 5th-year option on him. I
Yeah.
think Jeremy Chin, everybody knows he's out of the door. Dante Jackson is another one, pretty much out of the door. They put him on the trade block right before the season ended. So there's a bevy of guys that's getting ready to hit the door that you got to look and say, okay, let's start putting some things into motion. Is there any guys that we can get any picks for? Is there any guys that we can hope to transform this thing and build through the draft? Number one, get a lot of young talent through the draft. Stay the hell away from free agency if you can.
And then Q, you got to look at the business side of things and the other side of things, the realistic side of things. These people, okay, Scott Fitterer. Okay, Scott Fitterer used to say to make the trade, you got to have a trade partner, right? That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
You just said it yourself. We had, y'all got to understand, we had a lot of guys that was on the trade block come week 8 that should have been in that midseason trade. But guess what? We couldn't find trade partners. One reason was they knew that the Carolina Panthers was desperate. We didn't have no talent on the team, and we didn't have a #1 draft pick. So look, they lowballed us on everything, y'all. So y'all sitting there thinking, or you sitting there, we should have got them 2 1s for Brian Burns. That was hindsight or foresight. You see what we saying? The draft that we was looking at, they kept telling us we had a B+ draft, and then now in hindsight you looking at it, and it's a D-. So 2 years ago, when you got offered them 2 first-round draft picks that everybody keeps alluding to that come from the Rams, you didn't know you was gonna sign or I was gonna have contractual issues trying to sign Brian Burns. You didn't know that half your defense was gonna be hurt. You didn't know that the owner was gonna be so enamored, the word he loves to use, enamored with a quarterback that was gonna underperform. You didn't know that. And then the rest of the team, we were going to end up giving away 4 draft picks of the 9 that we got for the superstar running back. We didn't know all that. So now sitting there months later, a season later, we in the position we in. So you can't go back to LA or any of these other teams talking about, oh, is that deal still on the table? No, that deal ain't on the table no more. That's done. That's over.
Yes, sir. And that's the thing, you gotta think about it. When you got 4 picks for Christian McCaffrey, you got what, two picks for DJ Moore, and then you piss away each and every one of them picks. You got a pick for Robbie Anderson. I think we got like a 5th, or that's the extra 5th round pick we got this year.
I think that Robbie Anderson either comes this year or next year. I'm not looking at it right now, but it's either this year or next year, and it's a 5th rounder. It ain't nothing but a 5th.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It's a 5th round. And that's the thing. You're getting a developmental. There we go. I was getting ready to say it. It's a developmental guy. Anything from 4th to 7th is developmental. But the #1 thing is you can't necessarily hit on anything right now because you pissed away so much mortgage chasing quarterbacks. And to address what I said earlier, you guys got to think about it. Let me go back to Justin Long for a second. Justin Jefferson, nobody is untouchable. We saw an era where Randy Moss got traded in his prime from the Vikings to New England. We saw an era where Jerry Rice ended up in the Raiders organization. So I don't want to sit here and act like nobody is above getting traded. Peyton Manning got cut by Indianapolis. At the end of the day, these guys are going to do what's best for their business. And I'm here, like I said, I'm hearing the whispers right now over in Viking land, which I watch basically every time they come on. They're looking to get off of Justin Jefferson because of the emergence of Addison. Had they not had Addison and TJ Hawkinson and those guys that are other weapons, they wouldn't even thought twice about Justin Jefferson getting traded. But they're looking at potentially doing it because Kirk Cousins is gone now with an injury. They got nothing at quarterback right now. They got a 1st round pick, but they're looking to get more leverage to get some guys to build his team the correct way. So all I'm saying when it comes to these guys, other franchises, they understand when to make moves and not make lateral moves. Because if a franchise is willing to even entertain trading Justin Jefferson, if they're even willing to entertain Justin trading him, you got to sit back and look and say, okay, what should we be willing to do? And we don't even have a superstar of that caliber. We should be ready to, I'm talking about trade heaven, hell, and earth to try to figure something out to get some players in here. Or leverage some of these things that what we're doing to make sense of some of this. These guys are saying we'll get rid of our hottest commodity because I can go back in the draft and get a receiver that gives me similar production to what we just got from Justin Jefferson. It's unorthodox, it's unheard of, but crazier things has happened in the NFL, and you just got a receiver in Addison that's giving you production. So it won't be that big of a loss because you went, what, 7 games without him?
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
It won't be that big of a drop off. See, they seen it this year right here, and they said, you know what I'm saying? We lose Kurt, you know what I'm saying? And we brought in 2 other quarterbacks in 1 game. So, like you just said, Q, it's not that big of a drop off. So we mess around right here. You potentially looking at a Caleb Williams or either
They're
Justin
probably
Fields
going to
coming
target
back with more
JJ.
weapons.
They're probably going to target a JJ McCartney, and they're probably going to take their time and build this thing correctly with a quarterback and Addison and TJ Hawkinson and going forward with that. That'll be a good core nucleus to start off with.
But the biggest thing, they're looking at a division that's getting younger and hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. You know what I'm saying? Over there in that NFC East. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at the Bears either having the #1 draft pick of a so-called generational quarterback in Caleb Williams, or keeping Justin Fields and having a generational wide receiver in a Marvin Harrison Jr. and DJ Moore combination. Then they're looking at Chicago having multiple first-round picks and second-round picks and all that for years to come from the trading down and up and sideways that Brian Poole, their GM, done in the last 2 years. And so Chicago's going to do nothing but get better. Then you got Detroit that went almost to the divisional playoffs this year. Well, did go to the divisional playoffs this year. What am I talking about? They did go to the divisional playoffs this year. So that you got to face them types of teams 2 times a year. So you got to get younger and better. You can't have high-priced Kirk Cousins. You can't have a high-priced Justin Jefferson on your team. You can't have a high-priced Daniil Hunter on your team and still get talent in and out of there. You can't do that every year. You got to hit on draft picks now. You got to build your team through the draft. Free agency is not going to help you.
Like I said, I think we're the only organization that don't get it. Everybody else, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they make that move, #1, because Justin Jefferson is almost time to pay him, and the rumors are he wants $30 million a year. I'm not. Yeah. Are you paying $30 million a year for a guy that's dependent upon the football? He's not throwing the football. He has to catch the football.
He got to catch it. Yeah. He don't have the ball in his hand every play. Yeah, no. You're not getting no, you're not doing that. You're not doing that, bro. That ain't no way.
Yeah. So that's just one of the ones. That's just one of the ones right there that we're sitting back and we're saying you gotta learn when to get up off of some of these guys and start making moves and put your mind in the mind of a GM. What would they do to keep the team prospering instead of sitting here trying to hold the team back or get over some of these players or give out a big pile of money to some of these players, and you're saying to yourself, I don't want to be, that cap is something else. I want to have leverage to be able to wiggle here and there.
Because you like this guy, you don't want to be wrong. That was your pick and all that old crap. No, man, it don't work like that. It don't work like that by a long shot. Well, I guess we're gonna open it up a little bit, y'all. Anybody want to come on?
So what I miss
and talk about it?
What I miss? What happened?
Jalen.
That damn Jalen. Well, we're talking about #1. There's a lot going on. Getting talent in the room, understanding where we sit at. Go ahead, go. I see. Boy, you got me dying.
Nah, go ahead. Go ahead. Now you just can't pop in and talk what you missed there, brother. you might have to rewind the tape a little bit, cause we touched on quite a few things, man. We've been running our mouth right here for like an hour and a half. It's a lot of
Oh
stuff
God.
going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. You might have to rewind the tape on that one.
And Matt Rule
But look,
lied. Like I think he
yeah,
lied about that Brock Purdy thing, though. I think he lying
Why you think that, Jalen? Tell me why.
because, dude, Matt Rule and Scott was agreeing with each other on every single thing, and y'all mean to tell me y'all saw potential in Brock Purdy, and
mhm.
we can't even draft a dime.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
see what I
Well,
I
mean?
believe you on that right there. That's a good point right there, Jalen.
it
Hey,
is.
that's a good point right there, buddy.
Them
See,
boys are joined by the hip.
man,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
a good point
bull,
right there.
man.
Jalen just made a great point, y'all. And Q just said it. Them two dudes were joined at the hip. Y'all seen them right there at the podium where we showed y'all earlier. Oh, Matt, I called Matt. Matt, he called me this morning. And what you think about this? And what you think about that? That means they was in step by step. And who else was stepping with them? Dan Morgan was stepping right with them. We just showed y'all. That's not us. We just showed y'all. We showed you video proof. So we have to do that on this platform right here because y'all won't believe us. Because we haters. We haters. So we got to show y'all, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
That we ain't
so
lying.
they believe that because we're not on board with Bryce or some of the
Yeah,
directions that we go up out of our way to make some of this shit up that's going on around here.
yeah.
We don't. It's right
I
there.
think,
You can Google it.
look, yeah, because Q, think about it like this right here. And if anybody knows, okay, I'm right here, working right here tonight, right? I'm sitting right now. Y'all see me sitting right here. I'm in a Tropicana orange juice plant, loading orange juice. Okay, so I'll go back up 95, through Georgia, and you get on the other side of Savannah, Georgia. I forget what that little town is right there, or the exit number. It's a paper mill over there. If anybody knows about a paper mill or anything like that kind of plant, it stinks over there. It's a smell.
Mm-hmm.
I guess from the chemicals or whatever they use. I'm talking about you can smell this joint for miles. But
Yeah, we
you
got one
if
in
you
Charleston that
stop,
stinks like that.
thanks. But okay, Q. So tell me if I'm lying. So if you stop over there in that area, and like I stop over there, it's a gas station over there. Stop, might get an energy drink or something when I get to that point over there and talk to people. But they say y'all
Mm-hmm.
don't smell that. Guess
It smells
what?
like
They're
dog
immune to
food
it.
or baby food or something. It smells like it has a keen smell to it. I know exactly
Yeah,
what you mean.
yeah. But the people that live around there are immune to it because it's every day. They've been smelling it all their life. They've been smelling it for years. So therefore,
Oh
I'm
man.
sitting there. I walk into the room. I can smell it. When I walked into that room with Dan Morgan, Matt Rule, I could smell it. But you see what I'm saying? Some of us have been chasing quarterbacks or this and that, or taking what they've been given for the umpteen years. You immune to it. You don't got immune to it. You can't even smell it no more. You can't even smell it no more. You want a quarterback so bad since Cam Newton, you can't even smell it no more. You want a
That's
linebacker
crazy.
since Luke Kuechly, you can't smell it no more. You know what I'm saying? You want D tackle, this, that, a receiver, whatever. You want to win,
Mm,
you can't even smell it no more.
that's
That's
bad,
all it
man.
is.
This is
That's all it is,
and
everybody. And it's gonna
and
take
go
time. It's gonna take time.
and
Go
go and
ahead, go ahead,
I
get it off your chest, Jalen. Go ahead, go ahead.
and when I looked at that article about the Matt Rule thing, I was just saying to myself like, how many quarterbacks did we miss though before Brock? Because we missed a few
Yeah.
before Brock Purdy anyway. So I mean, Scott Fiddler. I'm looking at you too. I
You ain't gotta,
mean,
Ain't
you ain't gotta look at that nigga
Yeah,
no more.
yeah, you ain't gotta look at him no more, Jalen. Yeah, he gone. You look at Dan. Look at Dan now. They the same person. They the same person.
and they
I
vetoed
see it.
Brock
Yeah.
Purdy. Vetoed. So that means I think Tepper said no. Scott, I think he said no too. Who else said no?
You getting warmer.
This is a
Yeah.
mess. This is a
But
mess.
Jalen,
Think
you
a
got to
little
look at
deeper,
another thing
Jalen. Think
too.
a little
Yeah, you
deeper.
got to look. Yeah, you got to look at another thing though, Jalen. At that time, Jalen, when they so-called vetoed him or he got vetoed, he wasn't in the best of standings with Tepper. That was right there when Tepper told him to go get his rock star OC and this and that. And he comes back with Ben McAdoo. So therefore, see Tepper, y'all don't get it twisted. Tepper don't. Y'all might think Tepper was emotional week 12 when he fired Frank or this and that. But Tepper had been thinking about making that move. You know what I'm saying? Long before that. You know, cause see, he could have think about it. Think about it, Q. He could have fired him right then when he was cussing and fussing, right? He could have told him
Sure coulda.
don't yeah, right there in Nashville, right there in the Titans locker room. He could have fired him right then. But he went home. He laid down. He thought about it. He talked. He had him another drink or two. He did whatever, and then he fired him that next morning. So think about if some of y'all is gangster, then you think about this right here. If you get mad with a cat and you don't shoot him right then, and you go home and go get your gun and shoot him, ain't that a different charge, Q? Ain't that
Yes,
a different
sir.
charge?
Yes, sir. That's
Okay then.
premeditated. That means you had
Okay
time to
then.
think about it, and you didn't act
Okay.
on self-defense. You went and
Okay.
you thought this thing through, sir. So that's a higher level of
Okay.
a charge.
Okay. There you
Just
go.
saying. You're
See what I'm
going out,
saying?
driver.
Talk. See this is the way I think, y'all. This is the way I look at it. I'm gonna break it down to every day. You can break it down to football or whatever. It still gets broke down the same way, just like this. It's all gonna come out one way or the other.
Oh no. This finna be some mess coming soon, go. This finna be some mess. But I'm telling y'all this though. A lot of the stuff y'all said might be right. About like 90% of it might be true. About the Frank Wright thing and the on why we didn't get this or why we didn't get that. All that finna show.
Yeah, just time will tell. That's all you gotta do is sit back and let time be the best person for an example.
Oh
You
my
sit
God.
back.
It's the best example.
Yes, sir. The best example right now is time, because we'll see exactly how competent Dan Morgan is when it's time to start bringing in talent, when it's time to start acquiring and seeing what they do. Because something tell me, I told y'all a month ago, they're gonna start trying to make a bunch of trades and they're gonna try to get a lot of these guys up in here. And unfortunately, that's the wrong way to go about trying to build this team, because you're so inept with talent, they're gonna start reaching probably.
Yeah.
They don't got many draft picks that they're gonna start reaching.
So what you think, Q? What you think? When you come up there in free agency, are you gonna tell what the temperature is in free agency? When you see what type
Yeah.
of free agents they bring in here, then you gonna see
If
what type of temperature, what type of time they on.
if they go target young players that aren't particularly you know, guys that jump off the page at you, what are they doing right there? They're telling you, hey, it's a youth movement. We aren't going to spend big money on anybody hardly in here. And we're going to get who we can get in the draft. We're filling the roster through free agency. But if they go and drop big names in free agency and they go try to get a T. Higgins and they try to go get this and that, and this, oh shit, y'all in trouble, because from what that means, they're going to spend big money on players and get stuck with contracts, and then that means going into the draft, they really don't. I don't even think they could go O-line in the draft if they start going getting big players in free agency and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That means their number one thing
What,
is weapon, 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 weapon.
yeah. Now why do you think you've seen all these rumors out here and this and that? Why do you think so? What brings you about some people mind state when they bring up the rumor? Oh, the Panthers gonna target what's that, Austin Eckler? You know what I'm saying? Why would you do that? Why would you do something like that
You
when you already
just
got? Go ahead.
well, think about it. You just swing and missed on a scat back type of running back. Eckler is not once again a power back. He's a guy that can catch passes out of the backfield, but you got to understand where you're sitting at with this guy. If you're getting him, you're getting another guy that's injury prone. That number one, why is he available? Because he was
Yes.
injured in LA. And you don't want to come and keep getting these guys. You got Miles Sanders. First thing he did, got injured. You went and got Tyreek Cohen at the running back position. What did he do? Got injured. I don't understand.
Show up on the field.
Exactly. That's my point. You bought an injured commodity who hadn't played in 2 years.
So
Why are we?
do the yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know.
We thinking the same thing. We thinking the same thing.
Why keep going down the same road of bringing or looking at injured players?
Oh my God, man! Why do y'all, man, the Carolina faithful? You know what I mean? I'm the Carolina faithful too. I say, y'all, why do we keep grasping at these straws to say, oh, let's go get this guy, get that guy? Be cool, y'all. Just be cool. We have to build this thing. We have to build it. We gotta sit back. We're gonna have to lay in this hard, lumpy ass bed that we built for ourselves at some point in time. They already talking about restructuring Taylor Moton contract. Y'all, it's a bad contract. If you go in there and restructure that contract anymore, guess what you're getting ready to do? At some point in time, we'll be paying this dude for the next 3 years after he retires. Easy.
So I got a question for you, Go. Is there any big receivers that's going to be coming up on a contract in the NFL this year? Because my man just hit this on the head. The problem is they want Bryce to look like Tua, and they're going to try to find a Tyreek for Tua, for young Bryce. They're going to try to build this by trading for a receiver that they know somebody not going to want to pay. Number one, they're going to try to get one of them guys in here. So I hate to tell y'all, they're going to try to target probably T or maybe a Evans, one of them older receivers. Like I say, I don't like it.
Probably though.
I
But
don't
go
like
back
it.
to it. Y'all keep saying T. Higgins and all these other guys, or y'all keep saying Tua and Tyreek. Did they do that to fix Tua the first year? No. They went and drafted Jalen Waddle. Then after they felt that they was ready, they went and got Tariq Hill. After they had got some more pieces. We ain't ready. So first we got to go draft Waddle. Or we got to go draft something. We got to draft something.
What you mean?
Then
You already got Mingo.
Oh my God! Come on, man!
Like, don't do that, Mingo.
Come on, man! No,
You already got Mingo.
Come on, man! No. You got to build first. Y'all got to stop this. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, if you go out there and try to get this and try to get these guys out here right now, even in 2024, well, 2025, if you go out there and try to get somebody in free agency, if you go out there at the trade deadline and try to make a move, it's not going to work because we don't even have the pieces. We don't have, okay, and I go ahead and say, okay, if I like Bryce, if I wanted Bryce, guess what? We don't have guards. So Bryce ain't going to be able to step up into the pocket. Bryce is getting ready to be on his little ass every time he go back there and drop back to throw that football. You want Bryce to get that ball out in 2.7 seconds. That's what your coach said he wants him to do. I told y'all the other day they did a study. On an average, he was getting the ball out in 2.8. Then another thing, y'all got to realize you want to keep going back to Alabama, going back to his college days. Bryce was still the most sacked quarterback in college. He has a problem holding on to the ball, y'all.
I
You
said
got to
that,
fix
man, like
that
before we
first.
even got him, though. I said that before. I was, man,
Yeah,
but people
it
were
just
always
ain't no
getting mad at
miracle.
me, though. They were getting mad at
Jalen,
me, though.
it's not a coincidence, Jalen, that he got sacked a lot in the pros and he's getting sacked a lot now. You know what I'm saying? He got sacked in college. So that's not a coincidence. That's a
I,
problem that he has.
man, I knew, man. Dang. Why, Tepper? Why do you follow the media, man? Why, Tepper? Why? Why?
Jalen is
Why?
over there
Why?
nutting up. Y'all hear him?
Yeah, he
Why,
might
Tepper?
be.
Why?
Mike, what's going
Yeah.
on, buddy?
What's going down, man?
What's up,
Y'all
Man, I
Doc?
can't
talking
call
about
it that, brother.
y'all talking about a lot tonight, man.
Trying to keep up. There's so much shit going on, bro.
First
This is
of all,
Hollywood.
I'm tired of Matt Rule talking shit, even though I feel like he's telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Mike,
Mm-hmm.
What did I call why do I call Matt Rule?
Matt Fool.
No,
And
you
the
used to call him
cancer,
the cancer.
right?
Yeah, he fact.
And now that all this stuff comes out, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking Matt Rule still cancer. He was still cancerous for this team. But maybe he wasn't maybe he was just a little skin cancer.
He might
Maybe
not
he
been
wasn't
too bad.
yeah,
I
maybe he
don't
wasn't
know.
prostate cancer or colon cancer. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he
Did
was
you
just a
just
little
say
skin cancer.
Yeah.
wait the fucking minute. Did I just hear that right? Did you just say
Yeah.
cancer and they say not that bad? Look, let's talk about this. I just want to make sure that I show love to my
Mike, maybe this
cancer
dude,
patients out there.
yeah,
First of all, we aren't being insensitive to anyone that's in that
yeah,
situation.
yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah, leave my mama out of this, no?
Yeah.
Oh,
We're not going there. We just
Listen
referring
though.
to how we want to put this dude on a scale of how bad he was. Don't make that like he was bad.
Well, now here's the
Man, he
problem.
was
But
bad.
yeah, he was a
Until we
problem.
until we start winning, he's not looking that bad.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
the issue. There's the issue. Now here's the other issue. Baker Mayfield stepped out, and when Baker said what he said, it reminded me of Teddy Bridgewater when Teddy Bridgewater left.
Uh-oh.
Remember when Teddy Bridgewater left? He was talking about all the things Matt Rule didn't do during
Uh-huh.
his coaching shit.
Yeah. Him and
mm-hmm.
So,
Brady. Yep.
so that right there, that alone, that nullifies anything Matt Rule says out his mouth, in my opinion, when your star quarterback was doing good. Let's not act like Teddy Bridgewater was in here and he was a bum. He was a scrub. Teddy Bridgewater had 3 receivers over 1,000 yards. Curtis Samuel had 892 receiving yards and had over 200 rushing yards. And DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson both had eclipsed 1,000 yards. So he was being
Mm-hmm.
very productive. So let's put that out there. Then we turn around and we hear what Baker says. So when the ex player comes from one locker room and goes to a different locker room and they have a different level of success, that's when I pay attention. So I
Okay.
ignore what Matt Rule says. When Baker says it was a fresh glass of water being in a different organization. That when you spike up and you say, all right, so maybe even if we drafted CJ Stroud, we would have still seen the amount of growing pains we saw. Because the problem necessarily isn't just what's on the field, it's what's in the office. And I don't
Hold
know
on,
any.
Mike. Hold on, because your
Yeah.
boy CJ Stroud came out and talked shit today. Did you hear that?
I heard that. And guess what? The
Hmm?
man, he didn't say anything wrong. Let's be real.
Well,
What'd he
We
he
don't.
say?
just
What
said
he
what
say
you
about?
just said. He just said what you just said. So he just said if he do you think he was protecting his buddy and saying the right thing what he was supposed to say, or do you really think if we had him, we wouldn't have been successful either?
I don't think we would
Do
have
you
been
think it had a
successful with
bad
C.
his rights?
I don't think he would have had as bad a year, but I don't think we would have been successful with CJ. I don't. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. If Tom Brady walked in that motherfucker, I don't think anything would have been much different.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The Panthers is just a terribly ran organization
Yeah,
And
it's
every time a coach comes through the door, your owner clips the balls right on off them boys. He just clip them. He snip them. So you know
Just
you
like the
can't talk. Mm-hmm. Great.
it's like the end of the Price is Right when Bob Saget was there. Make sure you get your pet spayed or neutered. Every time he gets somebody in the building, he want to make sure they spayed and neutered, and he didn't got a way to. And the problem is with that is finally though, I'm gonna say something positive about her owner. He shut the fuck up.
Think he did. You think
No,
he did.
I'm saying that because last year, every year with Matt Rule, this motherfucker was everywhere. I think he finally got fucking embarrassed to the max. Cause
For a
it's not
minute.
cause it wasn't just us saying it in Carolina now. Like you go across the board, ESPN, FS1, he is known as the absolute worst owner in NFL history. They put the boy's name beside the owner of the Washington Redskins, and they debated
But
who was worse. Do
Mike,
you know how bad you gotta be to be in that boat?
Mike, the proof is gonna be in the pudding. When you get into this season right here, he can say everything he wants to say at a press conference. I'm sitting down. I'm in the back now, and all that. I bet you, and I won't even wait till the season starts. He gonna show his true colors in that war room again come April at that draft.
You right.
I bet you he
And
will.
the first thing I want to see is if Dan Morgan, when he makes his picks, if he looking at Dave Tepper like we kept seeing Scott Fitter do with every draft pick that
Uh-huh.
Scott
Uh-huh.
Fitter, he looked at Dave
Mike,
for his approval.
hey, he cooking, ain't he, Q? He cooking, ain't he?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Pot of gumbo. You
I'm,
got a pot of
I'm telling
gumbo.
you, if
He
he
said,
sits there and looks at David Tepper after every pick or before the pick come in, I'm gonna say, see what I'm saying? Same thing, same shit.
because Scott Fitter said every time he made a pick, he looked at Dave and said, "Is that a good enough job, Father?"
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is that
Yes, he did.
is that who you wanted, Dad?
Lord have mercy.
I
They
mean,
all
Don't
got to look
don't
over.
don't take
What's
don't
up,
take
Kevin
my
Care?
phone from me.
What up, fellas?
I
Yeah,
can't call him.
I'm not buying into Tepper shutting up and standing back. He gonna have to prove it. In my opinion, he ain't done nothing yet. You ain't shut up yet. You got to prove it. You got to
Mm-hmm.
actually do it, man. Yeah, you got to do that.
Yeah,
Because
you
as
know
far as
what?
I know, Dan and Dan Morgan, whoever else, they go at the end of the day, they might look like they running the show, but everything got to go back through Tepper at the end of
Thank
the
you.
day.
Thank
Okay,
you.
but listen, now listen,
No,
wait. I'm gonna press
go
back
ahead.
on that just a little bit. This is the reason why I say he's shutting up because I saw Dan Morgan and Dave go get their guys. Dan went and got his coach. Dave went and got his staff. Last year, it was Dave Tepper's staff. We can try to pretend like past years he let Matt Rule bring his little buddy from college, and then he let him hang himself and get Ben McAdoo. Then Dave Tepper said, "I'm not doing that again. I'm gonna just
That's
go write some blank checks and
But
get the
Mike,
staff that I
That's
think's
gonna be the
gonna
Mike,
help."
same.
I
It's
got
gonna be the
now.
same
I,
thing. You don't
yeah,
turn
I
your
got to push
franchise
back
over to
on. Yeah,
Canales. You don't turn your
I got to.
franchise
Yeah,
over to Canales.
I got to
No.
push back on that, Mike. I got to push back on that.
Go ahead,
David
push.
Tepper. David Tepper. You saying David Tepper sat back and let Dan Morgan get his guy?
Yeah.
No, Mike. Because check this out. If Ben Johnson would have took this job, that was Tepper's guy. He couldn't get his guy.
Thank
No,
you.
no, no, no,
His
no,
guy
no, no,
didn't
no,
want
no,
the
no,
job.
no, 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 no. You misunderstanding me, Goat. I'm saying he let that man go get his staff.
No, he didn't.
He ain't
The
let
only
Dave go
reason
get his
why
boy.
because No, because Tampa couldn't get nobody. The people who Tampa wanted didn't want to come. They didn't want him.
I'm not talking about the head coaching job. I'm not talking about the head coaching job because I said it on this panel that he wanted Ben Johnson so bad that I was afraid what he might do behind closed doors to convince that man to be here. I'm saying when Dave Canales got here, the moment you start hearing the hire of the assistant coaches, it was Dave Canales guys that he wanted. Dan Morgan, the moment Dan Morgan got the job, he got the coach that he wanted because Ben Johnson, technically, also put this out here. Ben Johnson did not make his decision that he wasn't going to coach before Dave Canales was hired. That came out days later, almost a week
But
later.
he made his decision that he wasn't coming to Carolina. He been did that. Everybody been knew that he said he wasn't going to take this job.
He didn't come out and say it. He even came and he even scheduled a second interview. And before Ben Johnson was supposed to have his second interview, Dave Canales was hired.
His representative said he didn't want the job. Matter of fact, they said Ben Johnson ain't even hardly attend the interview. His representative spoke for him. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, the representative spoke for him. Like he gave Carolina his ass to kiss.
Exactly.
Once
He
again,
did everything except for pull down his pants.
I get what you're saying, man. I need to see it. I need to see it before we just speaking hypothetically at this point that Tepper gonna stand back and Canales got his guys and none of these guys are proven. It doesn't mean anything.
Absolutely not. That's the part that I'm gonna take all the pushback for because we don't know who the fuck Dave Canales is except for he had a good year as offensive coordinator and he was good quarterback coach.
He ain't have no good year as an offensive coordinator. Nope, that was a bad offense. They ranked near the bottom in the whole league, despite Baker throwing 4,000 yards, which some of the Buccaneer fans argued it was garbage time yards.
Doggone, see, Kevin Kale.
I'm just being honest.
Why are you talking like me?
I'm being honest.
They ain't gonna like you, boy. They ain't gonna like you.
Look, dude, my first cousin is a Buccaneer fan, and he'll tell me he has no problem with Baker, but a lot of them yards are garbage time. Their defense is what really carried them through. And then everybody say, Baker went far. Nah, they won 9 games.
We're not going to allow that defense to say that they carried anything, but they was
ranked
number 20.
I'm not saying they're elite, but the defense did more than they get credit for. They did more than they get credit for. They didn't have a run game. Baker threw 4,000 yards, but a lot was garbage time. He was barely better than he was in Cleveland.
And Mike, they beat them out of them 9 games that they won. And I'm not taking none for them, but they beat teams who they were supposed to beat, and a lot of the games who they were supposed to lose, they lost them. When you championship caliber or more than you supposed to be, the game that you supposed to lose and you end up coming up with a win or finding a way to win, that's championship team.
Yeah.
That's a good team. They lost to teams who they were supposed to lose to.
One more win than they got with Brady to slip into the playoffs. Had no business being there.
In a weak ass motherfucking NFC South. And end up beating the Eagles, who people was like, what happened to the Eagles? Everybody and their mama said, what happened to the Eagles right there at the end? What happened to them? They just fell off the map.
Eagles lost 7 weeks straight, didn't they?
Yeah. They win, but two I think what? 2 out of 6 or 2 out of 7 in the last 2 months? Come on, man. But I'm not taking that from them. They went to the playoff, they beat the Eagles, and they made it to the second round. They won the NFC South. You can't take that from them. Nope. But if you want to put it into categories of what it's supposed to be, just saying talking about real, they won a weak NFC South and they beat an Eagles team that was who knows already on vacation.
Self-imploded.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
The whole coaching staff gone.
So let me ask you a
Yeah, yeah,
question.
yeah, yeah.
How was that performance when they went against Detroit in the playoffs? It's a
Just like
big,
Detroit when
big,
they
big,
lost.
big time game, big time game, big time team, big time threat. How did that offense look when they went in the playoffs to play against Detroit?
They looked good. They had the best offense while in the playoffs. Yep,
So,
they were ranked very high.
so what I'm saying is, and I'm gonna say it just like this because I I'm gonna be very, very, very serious. The first beginning of the year, I don't judge none of that. And the reason why I don't judge none of that, it's unfair to judge any offense when you get in the first year offensive coordinator in the first 7 weeks of the year. It is
Okay.
100% almost impossible to get an accurate read because nobody
Well,
even
Mike.
knows who they are at the time.
Well, Mike, I got a question. You say it's impossible to judge somebody in their first year, right?
So why we hire them?
So better than that, why are we firing coaches in their first year?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, first of
11
all,
games. Not even a year.
Yep.
11 games. Not even a
I'ma
year.
just I'ma
First
just
of
be
all,
quiet. I'ma sit my
no
ass back and
Q,
be
no
quiet.
Q, no Q. I'm gonna be 100% with you. I'm
Yes,
100%
sir.
on board with that because there was no reason the hell you should fire any coach in the first year, especially when you see that the offense is not clicking with the young buck. But the moment he has a veteran quarterback, he comes in and that offense shines
That's the
and
problem.
shows they ass.
That was the problem. That was the
See,
problem. Your owner
so there was
wanted that
so
young buck, what you just said, that young buck to shine. And he wasn't shining. And it was about money and financial obligations at that time. Because what was happening? All of the sponsors and all that stuff was starting to leave.
Yep.
They was starting everybody was tuning the fuck out. The stadium
Yep.
was going empty. You understand what I'm saying? So a move had to be made.
And that's
Hey, I'm
and
doing
that's
something.
the whole
I'm
reason, and that's the whole
yeah.
thing. What I'm saying. So when I say what I said about you don't judge a person for a half of the year, damn near, it's because that's how successful teams are built. When a coach comes in and they developing and they're getting their shit going, other teams ain't firing their coach in the first fucking year, let alone mid season. It just doesn't happen because that's the way of not even seeing what you putting on, like the contract that you filled out. You didn't even give it a chance to see if it was going to be a success story or a failure when you fire someone that fast. I've never seen a coach get fired in one single year like that immediately after he just got the fucking
Well,
job.
Mike, that goes back to what you said earlier. Wow, do you think that was his guy? Do you think Frank was his guy? He was running after Ben Johnson yet again that same
Yep.
year, and he
Thank you.
settled for Frank.
He's settling for
Facts,
Canales,
facts.
and he gonna
No,
let Canales hang himself.
well, the thing
Yeah,
is,
there you go,
the
Phil.
thing, the thing is, Ben Johnson. See, let's put it in pimp terms. All right, Dave is in love with a stripper, and the stripper name is Ben Johnson. And the more Ben keeps saying, "I'm not coming over there," he keeps thinking, "All I gotta do is throw some more money, make it rain a little bit, and maybe this bitch come home one night." But the problem is, at home, the bitch is treated better. In Detroit, Ben Johnson walks on water. That's what people not getting. Ben Johnson got everything he needs and wants in Detroit. Where you got a whole, not even a
Oh
whole
no,
city.
we get that. We
You
get
know what
that.
I mean? So
Yeah.
when you go to a place and then you got to deal with an owner, and the owner gonna tell you, by the way, if you come here, I want things done my way, not your way. Ben said, "You got me fucked up."
You think he gonna treat Ben like that though?
I
Canales.
I I think he's gonna try to treat anybody like that. And the reason why I feel like he's gonna try
No,
to treat anybody like that is because the right hire was Jim Harbaugh.
I
The
agree.
right
I agree with
hire,
that.
The right hire was on the golf course with him the year before, and he had
But
an
see,
opportunity to get Jim already. And Jim said, "Let me come do my thing and get the team where it needs to." And he
Nah,
didn't want to
so
surrender power, so
you
he
just
decided,
argued
"No,
against us and then proved our point. You argued against us and then you proved our point. Jim Harbaugh was the right hire, but Jim Harbaugh is the guy that's going to run things his way, and it's
his
proven
way."
that it works.
Yeah, but
Now
here's the point. We're
we're
not
supposed to sit here
now.
and believe that Canales is going to run things his way and that it's going to work, and Tepper won't intervene. Not buying it. I'm not buying it.
Well, let me tell you. Well, let me tell you a situation. Just like Ben Johnson said, "Hell no." Every other coach that was qualified to run the fucking team said, "Hell no." He wasn't the only no that was on the board. There was only
no,
two
no, yeah,
coaches.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
There was
yeah, we
only
get that,
yeah.
but just
so
But
thinking that
so
Tepper gonna stand back, it just don't. It don't make sense.
but let me keep going though. Let me cook this a little bit. Let me cook. When you
cook.
turn around, when you turn around and not this bitch don't want you, that bitch don't want you, that bitch don't want you, that bitch don't want you, this bitch don't want you. You got niggas in the house that's trying to get away like Evero talking about, nah, I'm trying to coach somewhere else. If I have to, I'll take this job. But let me go to Atlanta. Let me go to Seattle. Let me try to get the fuck away from you. Sooner or later, once you get enough fucking rejections, sooner or later, you got to look in the mirror and say, maybe I'm the problem. And
That dude
then,
got too much. He got too much money. Too
no,
much
no, no,
money to
no.
think like that.
Then you turn on the TV, and every time you turn on the TV on ESPN, when they talk about your team, the only thing you hear is you are the worst owner in NFL history. Every time you look up your team on the website, all you see is Dave Tepper is Carolina's cancer. Dave Tepper is Carolina's
Now,
problem.
I get everything you saying, but see, he was that last year, and he
You
went and
damn,
got Bryce. He went and
you
got
right.
Bryce because that made it better.
You right. He was
He
that
thought.
last year. But the problem is, he in his head, he wasn't. In his head, he still could do this job. In his
So
head, he was another Jerry Jones.
basically, you're thinking he's a changed man.
No, I'm thinking that reality is a motherfucker. And the only thing you can do with reality is you either stay the same or you got to adapt.
Reality says he's gonna stay the same. That's a rich motherfucker. He don't
Okay.
care.
Look, I'm gonna tell you one
Now,
thing about rich
We
motherfuckers.
trying to
They
we
got
trying to
pride.
win games. Tepper trying to look good to
Yeah, okay,
ESPN.
but when he's in that office and he's got 32 other billionaire owners looking at him, pointing at him like, "What the fuck you even doing here, dog? You don't belong." That's a pride thing.
Dang.
See, to us, he's a billionaire and all this shit. But in his circle, all of them are billionaires. And he's the most embarrassing, most retarded. He's the handicapped billionaire. He's the water boy.
Call a man a
okay, but
handicapped
okay,
billionaire.
check this now. You talk, okay, so you talk about Tampa, and then this to say the articles comes out once again about the coaching staff, what you talked about earlier. Okay, so now Canales just named that boy um Isick, Brad Isick, the offensive coordinator, and they retained Evero. And like you said, Evero tried to get out the building. All this. Now this is one article right here. Evero led a Panther defense ranked fourth in the league, allowing 293 yards, 93.9 yards per game, despite Carolina owning the league's worst offense and record in 2023 without the benefit of playing with a lead much of the season,
Mm.
especially going into the fourth quarter. Carolina struggled to force sacks, 27 as a total, and takeaways only 11, ranking them last in both of those categories, right?
Yeah.
So when we sit there and tell people, right, Q? about a Brian Burns or anybody like that getting impact sacks and all kinds of stuff like that. And they just these are the professional writers now. This ain't us.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, this is not us. These professional writers keep telling you the same thing we were saying. It's hard for you to get impact sacks or sacks period or whatever or takeaways or anything. That's why we rank last in it because going into the fourth quarter and much of every game this year, we never had a lead. They said the league's worst offense
Yep.
in
By
record
far.
going into
By,
2023. By far.
by far.
By far. So hot
So
now you retain Evero. I asked these boys this right here. Y'all seen the schedule that we have this up and coming season. These bears, these lions and tigers and bears, oh my, that we got to play. You know what I'm saying? We get ready to go in there. If Evero comes along and we have another 2-15 season, does Evero become the scapegoat this year? Because
Yep.
old buddy is hiring all his buddies. Is
look here,
Evero the
man.
scapegoat?
Look here,
I think
man.
he
I'm
will
here to
be.
tell you.
That
I'm telling you, with Evero's resume, he can't be the scapegoat. With Evero's defensive resume, he cannot be the scapegoat. The only thing right in Carolina right now is Evero and Derek Brown. I'm gonna say that one more time for the people in the back, because there's a lot. Y'all was talking about trying to get rid of big names. You're talking about Justin Jefferson leaving. I'm here to tell you. To me, everybody on this fucking team is disposable except for Derek Brown. That's
Derrick
the
Brown
only
got the most
motherfucker.
value. He'd be the first one I'd trade just because he
Yeah, he
got so
does.
much value.
No, because you don't get defensive tackles like Derek Brown. When it starts in the trenches, you don't get another Derek Brown. It's
No,
like
that defense not good, man. I get what you're saying.
I,
That defense ain't good.
that defense ain't good, but you don't give away Derek Brown and then try to build a defense. That's working
They need
backwards.
they got to
You got
build
to
the whole
win.
team, man.
You got to win at the line. And I'm here to tell you, what's the chances of you drafting another defensive tackle that can do half what
We
Derek Brown can
didn't
do?
we didn't win at the line. The sacks are down. We got killed in the run game. Derrick Brown was tackling running backs from behind. He was snatching them from the
Derek,
back. They already got 5 yards.
Yeah,
That
we
3-4
they
defense
said
ain't
they
sweet,
just
dog.
said, Mike. Yeah, that three. It's allowing 293.9 yards per game.
That defense ain't good, man.
I never said it
Shout
was
out to
good.
Derrick Brown, but no, shout out to Derrick Brown, but nah. He was snatching running backs from behind. You talking about winning at the line? They were getting 5 yards before he tackled them.
Listen,
Damn.
listen. I hear everything you saying, but when you go to PFFF and you see everything that Derek Brown had did through the year with no fucking help, he ain't got a linebacker. See, the thing is
That's the 3-4
Derek.
scheme. That's the 3-4 scheme, though. That scheme is not built to stop a run game. It's built to stop a pass game, and teams didn't pass against us. That's
Yep,
all I'm
because we
saying.
didn't have
We
a
didn't
lead.
get,
Because we didn't have
we
a
didn't
lead.
have a
Preach,
lead,
Kev. Preach,
and
Kev. Preach,
we
Kev.
did, and let alone that we ain't get no turnovers. We couldn't stop
11 turnovers.
touchdowns.
11 turnovers.
Yep,
11 turnovers. The
that's
whole
low.
year, though.
That's low, man. That 3-4
That's
scheme is
nothing.
not good. And I hear everybody talk
Now,
about Derrick Brown, but I mean not Derrick Brown, but Brian Burns. But Brian Burns on the outside. We got 8 up in the middle the entire year.
and I'm telling y'all this. What kind of sense this make? This is another question I'm gonna ask you guys. What kind of sense this make? I just read these numbers about this about this defense. We just talked about this defense. 27 sacks, 11 motherfucking turnovers, allowing 293 yards per game. Now you getting ready to take away from that defense because you try, like you just said, oh, trade Brian Burns, oh, trade Derek Brown, oh, trade J.C. Horn, oh, trade Chin, oh, package everybody up and trade all them now. And y'all said that was the fourth ranked defense in the league that had had these problems. Now so once you trade them assets,
Where do you go
you're
from
gonna
there?
put it on where you go from there, and then you're gonna put it on the worst. You're gonna take that and go put it on the worst league's offense to try to make it better.
That's
What do you
what.
do?
See, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I understand people saying maybe try and trade Brian Burns due to the fact of do we have the money to pay him? Besides that point, I think it's crazy to try to break up the defense in any kind of way, except for Jeremy Chin, Jace Horn, etc. Jeremy Chin has had to been productive. Jace Horn has not even been on the fucking field. So if you're talking about stuff like that, I get it. I understand that concept. But what you're going to do if you get rid of the defensive people that we do have, you're going to pair the worst defense with the worst offense, and then get mad when there's absolutely no reason to turn on the fucking
Thank
TV.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That 3-4
Thank you.
scheme, dog, it don't matter. That's the thing. We got the
I
worst
hear
offense.
everything you saying. I hear
Thank
That
everything
you.
you saying
Oh
that
my
about
three
the
four
God.
3-4
scheme, that
What I
scheme.
three
want
four
to
I
say.
hear
scheme ain't gonna cut it,
everything you
man.
saying
Oh my
about you
God.
disagreeing with the 3-4 scheme, but there's a lot of teams that succeed with the 3-4 scheme. I'm here to tell you, when you have that lack of offense on the field, no defense is going to be successful.
You're
It's
You
absolutely right.
impossible. It's
But
impossible.
again,
just heard me say that.
the
Of
the
course,
same way
of,
the offense need to be built, that defense need to be built. We don't have
of,
linebackers. We ain't
okay,
got no
I know
nose
Kev,
exactly.
tackle.
you,
You're right. We don't have
Kev,
linebackers. You're right
Kev,
about that.
you,
But
Mike.
Yeah,
let me
yeah,
cook this
yeah.
up. Let me cook this up.
Did you
When
just,
you
Mike?
got
Did you just hear
your
what you
team
just said, though, Mike? You just,
say,
you just dropped the mic, Mike. You just dropped it. You said you get ready to pair the worst defense with the worst offense, and what do you got then?
no reason to turn on the TV because look,
Oh my God!
That
let's
was
put
this
this
season. No reason to turn on the TV.
Oh my
cause
God!
let's put the aspect to it. When you got a team on a defense on the field that fucking long, well, of course they ain't being fucking productive. Nigga, they tired.
I didn't say that,
They
y'all. I didn't. Mike
They
said that.
they
Mike said that.
they
I
won't
didn't say
they
that.
won't on the
Y'all
field
don't
long.
blame me.
Yeah,
Y'all don't blame
what
me.
you
not with them
mean?
short
You
Don't
got
not with
blame
them
me.
short fields.
listen,
Don't
listen.
blame me.
I'm talking about
They gonna come at
four.
me, Mike. They
I'm
gonna come
talking
at me
about
for saying that.
yeah. Big Mike said it because let me tell you this. You know, we wasn't just ranked last across the board in offense. We was ranked last in third down completions completely.
Damn,
We
you get what?
we had
Oh,
absolutely the least amount of third
oh,
downs that we completed the
that's
first downs. That means the
that's
control of the
death.
ball
That's death.
stayed.
That's death right there.
That means the
That's
control.
football death.
That means the control of the ball stayed in the opposite side of the field at
Yes,
least
sir.
70 to 80% of the fucking
Yeah,
game. What defense is going to be productive when they on the field 70 to 80% of the fucking game? They're
Mike.
getting no
Mike,
breaks.
they're not understanding what you're saying, Mike. When you just said
I
what you just said, you just said that right there. They're not understanding what you're saying. Converting
I'm
on
un,
third
I'm
down.
under,
That's
I'm
death.
understanding all of that.
That
I'm
is
And if you
that.
understanding
can't
all of that.
Oh my
and if you
God.
can't convert if you can't convert thirds downs, that means you are talking about amount of a minute and some change that the offense was on the field, and here comes the defense coming
God,
right back out to the field.
Lord
That
have
means
mercy.
you don't even have time to drink a Gatorade and catch your breath because you got to go right back to the field as soon as you sit your ass down.
That defense ain't good.
Defense can't be good. It can't be
They
good.
aren't good.
No. It's impossible to be good. I don't give a damn who defense it is. You put
I get
any
all that.
defense in any
I get all
position
of
with
that.
that kind
I
of
get
offense.
all of that. The defense ain't good. All I'm saying is after this season, we're going back to the top of the conversation. Evero can be made as a scapegoat. That's all I'm saying.
He
Yeah,
gonna
I
be.
think
exactly.
I think if they make Evero the scapegoat, what Evero did with injuries, bringing people off the fucking bench that we didn't even know their names and had them performing because he will forget.
Mike,
It's
that was
not like
last
we
year
had.
though, Mike.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
That
understand
was
that.
last year.
So
Them
I
guys
understand
ain't
that.
liable, not even liable to be here.
What do
I
what do
understand.
NFL stand for? What do NFL stand for?
Not for long.
Not for long.
A bunch of
That was
1 year
last year,
guys,
Mike. He
1 year
he he
contracts.
made he he made miracles out of duct tape this year. But when he turned in, and you trade Brian Burns, you
Yep.
had 27 sacks. When you trade Brian Burns, guess what you get ready to get out of Mari Bono,
Exactly.
DJ Johnson, this one and that one. You ain't even gonna get them 27 sacks. You had 11 turnovers. You ain't even gonna get them 11 turnovers. So when he turned in, you go from fourth ranked defense to shit 24th or 20 something.
And
You
see
just
that
said
that
the last ranked offense combined with the last ranked defense. What
that's
you
my
gonna
whole
win?
point. The whole point I'm making, everybody, okay, the defense ain't good, and I think we all can agree on that. And then we got reasons why they're not good because of the offense. That's a given. That's obvious. Okay, everybody say, oh, well, we need to trade Brian Burns. But if you're gonna trade Burns, you may as well trade Brown. Get
I
maximum
think
value. But if
I
you ain't
think
gonna
it'll be
trade Brown, don't trade Burns.
absolutely. I can agree with that 100%. I agree.
So
Matter of
so
fact,
can I
actually,
ask a question? Um, why go through the trouble of retaining Evero and trying to bring him back if you trade away every piece that if you magically go into a rebuild like that?
it'll be foolish. It'll be
What was
foolish.
I mean, what I'm saying is why did you block him? You could have let him win. You could have got who you needed or who you wanted to sit through this terrible rebuild you're about to go through. Because if you trade all them boys, you won't have a pass rush. You won't be able to stop the run. You won't be able to even generate tackles.
You won't.
Uh,
But
and you have to
Q, what
start
I
from
was
the ground up.
It's not even
okay.
trading. I think
So
Burns and Brown might be the. Well, I guess they could trade Horn. Yeah, they could trade
well,
Horn, but Luke was free agent, ain't
yeah, he a free
After
agent.
next year,
he? Yeah,
Yeah.
he
well,
coming
after
Well,
up on
this
I,
year,
free
he'll
agency.
be. hmm
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask you a question, Q. This is just my speculation. This is what I'm thinking right here. Okay,
hmm
David Tepper knows that this dude is a good coach, right? He knows that this dude is a good coach,
hmm
but but he's thinking in his mind, I don't need a defensive minded coach. Y'all done heard that.
yeah.
This cycle, this coaching cycle, that we want an offensive minded guy, offensive minded guy. He don't think that a defensive minded coach can get Bryce Young, that's the elephant in the room, to make this offense or make Bryce Young his franchise quarterback. So he had to bring in, or he thinks he had to bring in, a Canales or a young offensive mind. So he blocked that dude from going to Jacksonville. He did whatever he could do. All he could do was block his lateral move. He couldn't block him for going for a head coaching job. He retains Evero. He used his contract against him and retained Evero to run his defense.
Yeah,
That's what
but
I think.
what I'm saying is why go through all the trouble of blocking and retaining Evero if you just virtually take away every piece that he had that was valuable, and you're saying, hey, start from the ground up.
Ain't had no other choice. You done back. You put by going out there and doing what you did in this draft last year. You shot yourself in the foot, and you ain't have no other choice right now to get in the first round or try to build this team back. The team not talented. They said it themselves in the press conference. The team is not
So
talented.
where I could go as Evero and be on a successful team right now, you bring me back to be the scapegoat. My numbers go down. You trade away all the players, and everybody gonna say we're not winning because of me. That's essentially
Exactly.
what's about to happen.
Yeah, because all the
Exactly.
focus about to be for Bryce. Half this draft gonna be in offense all day
Yeah.
long, and they got a bunch of 1 year, 2 year guys that they need to re-sign or figure it out on defense.
Well,
Free
I
agents and
think
all
we
that.
just I think we just answered why the hell Evero was trying to get the hell up out the damn he was trying to
That's
get the hell
why
up out of here
he
because
see
he
it.
saw that
Yeah.
coming.
He
Yep.
see the writing on the wall. He see the writing on the wall. Because you got to think about this. Look at all the time we put on this podcast right here, and you try to put that blame on a Bryce Young or that offense. And guess what they do? They blame Icky. They blame Bradley
Yep.
Bozeman. They blame Caleb Moton. They'll blame the
Yep.
receivers. They'll blame Miles Sanders. They'll blame Chuba
Hell,
Hubbard.
they
They'll
blame
blame
me and you. Shit, they
they
blame everybody.
blame the defense. They blame Brian Burns. They blame Derek Brown. They say J.C. Horn, why you get hurt? He ain't shit. They just blame everybody. They will not blame that offense, or they won't blame the damn quarterback for throwing a pick six or fumbling the ball or holding on to it too long. So guess what? Everett getting ready to be the scapegoat. The scapegoat.
Them Bryce Young fans make me sick. Ah, no, man, they be making me mad. Golly.
Q,
Them
you
boys are
muted again, man.
definitely they're a different type of special. My bad, I keep pressing the button. They're a different type of special, man. I never expected a young fella to garner such a following. And the number one thing is if you're winning, I can understand garnering such a following, but it's like everybody feels sorry for you to the point where they pity you, and they say, okay, well, we're gonna give you a chance based off of pity.
Yep.
It's not based off of skill. It's not a following based off of, okay, we see what his future could be. It's based off of, oh, they did you wrong. Oh, they didn't have anything for you. We feel so bad for you. The offensive line ain't blocking. The wide receivers can't get separation. The coaching staff are out there fighting at practice and shit like that. Uh,
They did
it's
you.
always
They
something.
did you. They did you a discomfort by picking you. Now, mind you,
Right.
now the Carolina Panthers won 7 games before your ass got here.
Yep.
How the hell
And
you come here and we get worse?
yep. And 6 of them 7 wins was without McCaffrey.
Yeah,
It was
Better
Sam
play.
Darnold.
but we did you a disservice.
Yep. And people say he was set up for failure. Well, wait a minute. They had to make the team bad to get him in the first place. And they thought he
Fact.
was worth it. They thought he was worth it, and he ain't. It's that Alabama roll tide, man. It's marketing. Well, that's what it is. Media
And
marketing.
now the marketing that came to Dave Tepper. He done had all this money because he got Bryce Young, and now he's trying to save the marketing that he got because of Bryce Young. He's trying to look at it as a business instead of realizing that I can't win with the young man. It's not
Exactly.
about winning. It's about the network.
That's what I said earlier. It's all about the networking and the win. He trying to look good. We want to see games. We want to see a Super Bowl. David Tepper trying to look good.
My chest. That's all I got
But
to say.
Kev, I say it like this right here, man. We at this point, are we in too deep?
I think so.
Yeah, when you give
Man,
up what you give up, you ain't way too
Yeah,
deep.
we in too deep.
Nigga, we waist deep. The hell you talk about, go?
Yeah, cause you
Once you
think
gave
about it.
up,
You think about it. Bryce Young, they can go out there and win 5 games next season, and that might lock Bryce in.
that's what I'm talking about, y'all. See,
that's what
that's
I
what I'm
say. He
talking
don't need
about.
to do much.
Are,
Yep, he gonna
are
mess
we?
around, win 5 games, and that might lock him in for the long haul.
That's
Oh my
bad,
goodness.
man.
And next thing you know, they cutting a check for 250 million.
Oh my God.
Mediocre.
No, 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 no.
3 years from now. Yep.
Don't say that.
No,
Don't say
no,
that.
no, no, no,
Don't
no.
say
I'm
You can't
that.
telling
say
you,
that.
that's the way it looked. Because the bar is so low, and like we just said,
Damn, you right.
they're gonna routinely blame everybody else. If Bryce get out there and win
No,
5, 6 games, they're gonna call
it
it
won't go that
progress.
far. It won't go that far. I
Shit.
will say it's not
Mike,
gonna
the
go that
man
far.
said all the
It
man
won't go
got
that
to
far.
do is win about 5 games, Mike. Cause the bar
For
so
him to
low.
be,
Mike, the bar
for
so
him to
low,
get,
Mike. I no, Mike. I heard a nigga say the other day, he don't care if we don't win no game, as long as that boy right there makes some type of progressions, or as long as he start to look,
Yep.
start to
I'm,
look
I'm
like
I'm here to tell you, By the time his rookie contract is up, if that boy is not performing, he will not be here. He will not get a $250 million contract. We're not about to go that fucking far. It's not gonna fucking happen. That
Mike,
boy
do you
got
know
a
how low
year
that
or
bar
two.
is,
Mike,
Mike?
Mike,
Do you see
everything you
how
just
low
said
that
in the
bar
last
is?
30 minutes, you just said that it will. We were
No,
arguing
I
against
said, I'm saying the boy's gonna get a year or two max. That's how long the boy's gonna get. I know he's gonna get all next year. He might get one more year after that, but that's all the boy's getting.
you. That's all he need. Well, I don't even think he need a year. He need 3, 4 games.
And the facts, that's how I feel. But because
But
They
he's
gonna give him
suffering,
the
they
he's
year
gon'
gonna want
though.
to be
they
They gonna
gon'
give him the
he's gonna
year.
want to be proven right. And because
they
that
gon'
he is in love with him, he's gonna give him another year or two.
Yep, they gonna win 5, 6 games, and before you know it, the media is gonna and Tepper, he gonna think, he gonna believe whatever they say. We gonna mess around, and be stuck with Bryce around here winning 9 games every year.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
but
don't
if
even
they
believe.
if
I
they
don't even
pull
believe.
out if they pull out 7 to 9 wins next year, then they earned it, man. That schedule ain't no cakewalk, man. I just
Oh,
looked
he
at
ain't
it the
getting no
other
seven.
day.
He ain't
It
got.
ain't.
Yeah, he ain't
If
getting no
they get a
7, 9
seven to
wins.
No,
nine
he ain't.
piece,
He ain't gonna
they
7 games. No.
No,
I
no.
Next
can't
year
even
about
say we gonna
5.
we got toss up games, but I can't say we gonna win those games. We lost to Chicago last year with a backup, so I can't say we gonna beat Washington. I can't say
Listen,
we gonna beat the Raiders. I can't
yo,
say
I'm
we
a
gonna beat
second
the
that.
Cardinals.
If
Like,
we pull off 7 wins next year, I might actually say we're gonna keep the nigga long term.
They
Because
won't
yeah,
that
be
I'll
next
shut
year.
schedule
up. That's how
that
low the bar is.
schedule
Go, y'all say the expectations ain't gonna be that low. It shouldn't be that low. But if Bryce go out there and win 7 games, hey, I'll shut up. And I'm a Bryce hater, and I'll shut up for the season.
Well, you gonna might as well
Keep
keep
that.
talking because he ain't gonna win no
They
fucking 7
Yeah, ain't
games.
gonna
So
see no
you might
7.
as
Not
well.
next year. Maybe the year
Yeah.
after that if he's still here. But
and
next year, you 4 or 5 wins max.
my problem with Bryce is I think Bryce got to get all his wins early, man. Because once these D coordinators get film on him, it's over,
He
Well,
and we
not
already
only
got through the
that,
got it.
season.
but think about the division
You
too.
know, go.
If we got
It's an
division
easy
games.
playbook. You know, it's a new playbook. Hopefully, he get a couple games to start hot. But I'm not.
Yeah, you
I don't expect it.
dog, you think about the division. If we got, let's say, the first 4 games and 2 of them is divisional games, and he lose them, hey, it's time he got to go to the bench.
Man,
Like
that man.
you
look,
can't,
I'm
yeah.
gonna say this right now. I think that the nigga might win too. Like that's for real. Like I think he might win 2 games next year. It's gonna be another 2-15 season. Don't y'all
I
hang
see
your
3.
head
I see 3.
down.
Okay, okay. Well, let me do something for y'all boys then. Since y'all right here tonight, we'll go to the schedule.
All
That's what
my
we're getting
wins,
ready to
all my wins are out of a group of games. So I look at a group of teams that we play, and I'm like, okay, we might be able to get 1 game out of that 3. And so,
do. Okay.
in totality, that shit's horrible.
So you bring it in right here and you say home game against the Falcons. Where y'all at?
I can't even say
Uh,
we're
That
gonna split
that
the
that could
division,
be
man.
one. But
That could be one. That could be
that
yeah.
one.
could be one.
Okay.
Being
Hold on,
nice, I
hold on.
give us that one.
Hold on. Let me get it so I can
Yeah, we don't know who their quarterback is.
He's that
Yeah,
facts.
yeah, because they gonna y'all gotta think it is. They get ready to get better. They got
Yeah.
Raheem Morris. They just showed him today getting out with his family and everything. He rolled out his plan. So and if Raheem Morris got any kind of damn sense, he get ready to get him a quarterback
Yeah, he
with
should.
with that 7th or 8th pick. If he
If
got
he
any
took
sense
that
around there,
job, having to stick with Desmond Ritter, that's crazy. Because I actually like Raheem Morris. People laugh at Raheem Morris' name and because he's black, but Raheem Morris is actually a good coach. He can coach both sides of the ball. He's been a head coach before. He was even an Atlanta intern for a minute. He's actually a good football coach, but Tepper never really want to take him seriously like that.
all right. So y'all boys say that first that I ain't saying that's the first game or whatever because they ain't got the times
Yeah,
and everything. But I'm just say Falcon. So what y'all say? Is that a dub or L?
I say we split with the Falcons. We just split with the Falcons.
All right. So let's just okay. So you split with the Falcons, a win and a loss. Okay. So then you sitting there and you got the Saints. Where you at with the Saints?
I want to say you get swept.
That's a
I don't.
an L.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about the Saints, but yeah, I think that's an L.
So you looking at 2 L's?
Yeah, and yep.
Put them down for 2 L's.
Dang. So okay. So 2 L's. 2 L's with the Saints. Okay. So now the Bucks.
I think you get one with the
You
Bucks. You get one on the Bucks.
Split, yeah, split.
Yeah, you split one because they're gonna have the staff gonna have some extra motivation for that game. That's the only reason I'm giving. That's the only reason. It ain't got nothing to do with the players. I think them coaches going to really want to get one, and so that's what
so
that
you
puts you on 2-4 in the division to start right there.
That's a
you're 2-4 in the division.
that's a politic game there.
Now we're gonna
So
lose
now
all the rest of the games.
so now you 2-4 in the division. Now you got, let's say, New York. What you gonna do in New York?
Which New York?
Yeah.
Giants.
We're gonna lose that.
Is that at home?
That's a home game.
That sounds like a low.
I still think we're gonna lose. I just wanted to know.
That sounds like a low scoring loss right there.
Yeah,
that's a loss.
Low scoring game that we just ain't gonna win.
I trust Brian Dable.
Then you sit there with the Cowboys.
That's another loss.
Cardinals.
That's a loss.
Are they keeping Kyler Murray?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
they
loss.
probably have, and if it falls like it is, they're gonna have Malik Neighbors, or they gonna have they're gonna have Malik Neighbors, or they're gonna have Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, that's a loss.
That's a loss.
And I'm not even gonna put it on. I won't put that loss on the defense. It's just they're gonna outscore the shit out of us.
Then
If Kyler
Kansas
Murray
City
healthy
Chiefs.
and he got a weapon, oh, that's a
that
loss.
game. That's that game in Germany too. We gonna get
That's
whooped
that Germany
internationally. We gonna get
Yeah,
whooped
that's a loss.
internationally.
So y'all saying that's an L.
That
Then now
defense
you
gonna tear
got
Bryce up.
the newly revamped San Diego Thunderbolts.
That's a loss.
Yeah.
From Georgia.
That's a loss.
That's an L. Y'all saying. Then you got my boy Joe Burrow.
That's a loss.
Joe Burrow.
That's a loss.
Hey, go. You remember the last time we played Cincy?
Oh my God. That was a
Milton,
murder.
what's his name? What was that?
Joe
He
Milton.
had 5.
Not
Yeah,
Joe
had
Milton,
5
not Joe Milton, but
touchdowns. Not Joe Milton.
Milton. Not Joe Milton, but what's
not
my
Joe
name?
Milton.
Joe
I can't
Mixon.
even think of it. Joe Mixon. That's it. Go. There you go. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
That run game, man.
Killer.
That run game.
We not built for
like
AFC North football.
42 to something? 42 to something?
I think we mustered like 20 at the end.
So y'all saying that's an L. So that's an L. Now we got the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's a loss.
That's a loss.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's ugly, go.
Now,
Why
with the
should
Eagles,
say?
with the Eagles, we don't know how that defense gonna look because I don't think they're keeping a lot of their guys either.
Oh no, they got Vic Fangio. You know they got Vic.
That's a loss.
But yeah, it's a loss, but I don't know how bad of a loss it's gonna be. I think the Eagles is done moving forward because they about to that check. What's his name? Jalen Hurts. Yeah, that check about to show. They lost some of their defense last season, and they about to lose some more. They can't keep them guys. They can't pay them.
Okay, now this is the game we was talking about right here, Chicago.
Oh my God.
That's a
I can't give us that, man. We don't know who their quarterback gonna be. Is it Fields? Is it Williams? We lost to the backup.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all something about this game. I'm gonna tell y'all something about this game here. This game depends on when we play them. This game gonna depend. If we play them later in the year and give them time to gel with all the new pieces they got, it's a loss. But if you jump on them early, if you got them early, we could possibly win that game.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah,
That's a
I'm
loss.
I'm still going loss.
Damn, y'all boys still going low.
Hey, I only said 3 and I already gave you 2.
Denver Broncos.
I feel like that falls into your category if you catch them early, possibly,
Yep.
but if you get them late in the season, Sean Payne gonna have them boys
Pause.
rolling.
Is
So
Russell
Yep.
Wilson staying or not? If Russell Wilson's there, it's a loss. If he's not there, that's a W. That's
I'll
where it's
give you
debated
that.
on.
I can give you that. I don't know what they're gonna do at that quarterback. That's what I said. Justin Long. It's all hypotheticals. We just up here talking and shit, man.
Yeah.
I hope
And
nobody
then the
holds these schedule predictions, to heart.
Yeah, we
and
don't
then
even know what weeks.
yeah, and then the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's all right. Antonio Pierce got a good team over there. Don't know who their quarterback gonna be.
Where they picking at?
I know they stay somewhere in the top 10. I can't tell you
Hold on,
exactly where they at.
I can tell
But
you right
they benched Jimmy G for Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell won you a couple games at the end, and so
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do.
Well,
Jimmy
they
G
beat
is
Patrick
who
Mahomes. They beat
Las
Patrick
Vegas is
Mahomes. That's a
picking
loss.
at Las Vegas is picking at 13.
you see some right outside the top 10. All right, yeah. So
They
you can have a
defense.
quarterback. Yeah, a quarterback can fall to you right there.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
like they can get this. You can still get Bo Mintz at 13. That's a
Yeah,
loss.
that's what I'm saying. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a loss, but the Raiders they
Because
saying they saying good.
you possibly can face Bo Nix and JJ McCartney. JJ McCartney in Denver and Bo Nix in Las Vegas. They could fall like that. And if the draft board do fall, if Chicago ends up trading, um, one of them boys like Michael Penix or one of them boys might fall out that top 3 and fall down, and they trade up again with another team, and one of them guys could be sitting there in Denver or Las Vegas again. They gonna get a quarterback, y'all. Both of them teams.
Got to.
So y'all say that's a loss. So we only won 2 games.
Yeah, and my biggest fear, well, it's not even a fear. I guess it's just a harsh reality. But like I think you said earlier, Goat, that yeah, these teams already got film on Bryce. They already got the film, so they coming at us hard. They not cutting that joker no slack next season.
No slack.
They not about to do like Green Bay
But
and
then they
just
have no
play
productive
easy.
film on this nigga in the first place.
Well, yeah, I get that, but I'm saying now it's just gonna be even worse.
It's not
It's
no
gonna be even
CJ
worse.
Stroud situation where you like, damn, okay, what can I do to give him something he ain't never seen? Right now, it seems like you man up and blitz Bryce, you gonna win every time.
All day long. And
Like,
cover zero.
yeah, blitz. I'm gonna blitz my safety on him. Brian
Yep.
Flores showed Brian Flores
I'm
showed
number
you what to do.
one.
In week 3, no, week 4.
Yeah, bro.
Yep.
That's not good, y'all. That's not good. It's not good. Sitting there winning 2 games in the division and losing out the rest of the regular season with opponents throughout the NFL. That's not good.
Nigga, but this is what I want to happen.
You gotta sit in this.
I
Go.
want it to be I want it to be us at the very first pick of the draft next year and to force my owner, my GM, my coach to look at Bryce and look at the first pick of the draft and be like, do we start over with him or do we keep Bryce? I want it to be the hardest question for them to have to answer.
Then he got
Or
to
you
I
go
got
then,
to
want
make a
Mike.
free agent.
He will have to go. You can't even have him in the building nowhere then if you go
Nope.
pick
And
another
that's
quarterback.
perfect for me because this what we get to say. Even from a building of a team, it's smarter for that to be happening because you turn around and you get to start the rookie contract all over. It's a
Yeah,
debate that Chicago's going through right now with Justin Field and
yeah.
Caleb Williams. The fact that
You
you can
right.
start the rookie contract over and what you can build around a young rookie at that time. I want us to be sitting there. And that's why when I look at this schedule, it doesn't make me angry. It makes me happy. I'm like, it almost guarantees us the first pick of the draft.
Mm, yeah.
Damn right about that. It's a harsh reality. Damn, I got to sit here and watch my team lose all again.
There you go, Kev. I'm trying to tell you,
Hey,
I don't know how much I can do it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because
I don't
look,
get to wear my
um,
jersey another football season. Damn.
you telling me I got to go all 2024, all 17 of them games in the preseason again.
And can't wear my favorite shirt in public.
That's what I'm getting ready to do, Mike. That's what you telling me.
Yep. It's facts though. I'll be happy if he's on the bench by week 5. And I'll be fine with losing. But if they keep him in there, he plays 17 games and we just know we ain't gonna win, I'm gonna be mad as hell. I'm gonna be mad.
That I mean it's that's hard. It's hard to deal with knowing that we could have done better drafting and managing this team better, and we could be in a different place going into the 2024 season, y'all. It's hard to deal with that, y'all. That's where I'm at
Yeah.
because we pissed away all this opportunity, all the draft picks, and all this draft capital to go get a quarterback that underperformed. And I'm not just landing all that at Bryce Young's feet, but we needed so much more. Then we mess around and we fire the coach and other pieces around here and keep the same people in the building getting ready to call the shot. They called the shots before. That's why we showed y'all that old footage at the beginning of this broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that we was because people was like, "What are y'all doing?" You know what I'm saying? We showed y'all this the segue into this conversation right here. That way we can always go. No, you hear what he said. You see, you heard him say, "We showed you Dan Morgan, we showed you Scott Fitter, we showed you Matt Rule," and that was only a draft and a half ago, y'all.
Yep. So Scott Fitter and Dan Morgan were basically like a principal and assistant principal at a school.
Exactly.
The assistant principal walking the hallways and doing all the work.
Yeah, this is what it. This a good thing right there. Like we could talk that the panel ain't loaded right now because if the 10 people usually be on here, everybody be arguing and this and that, right? So we're saying like this right here. Dan Morgan, as the assistant GM, I try to tell these guys this Tuesday. His primary job was to work with the scouting department. What did he say on that video? What did Matt Rule say? What did Federer say? This and that. He said himself. He was the one that put the board together, working with the scout department. They try to tell me no, his primary job was not that. That's his primary job, because the GM primary job is to get those players in, get them signed, and get them on the field for the coach.
Yeah,
He can't do it all
GM job is to cut the check and make the phone calls.
and do more of the executive work.
Yep. I think folk need to get on Google, man. A
Yeah,
GM got 10 different hats, and they might actually wear 5 of them. So it
exactly.
just differs. It differs from one team to the next. You know.
Yeah, because
But we
the assistant GM is going to take at least half of his load with him, not the
all
top
day long.
stuff, but half of the bottom stuff
Yep.
off his plate. He ain't got time to sit there and read scouting reports. The GM don't. So he tell, hey, my assistant GM gonna read them scout reports. If you see anything that catches your eye, you bring it to me.
Yep.
That's what he does.
And
Oh
I'll
man,
cut.
this dude right here. Yeah, he reading it.
I'll
He
call
said,
this
oh
team.
man,
I'll call that team, and I'll cut the
yeah,
check.
yeah. This guy right here. Oh man, he's 6'5". He run a 4.3. He run a 4.4. Oh man, this dude. Oh well, he looks good in this. That. Oh, well, maybe he'll fit our scheme. Here, let me go tell this. Let me go tell Scott. about this guy. He was in on it, y'all. And you can damn well believe when Tepper came in that door and told him to go up to one, he was in on that too.
Mm-mm.
Nobody said nothing when Tepper told him whatever to do. They didn't say nothing. And he ain't going to say nothing once again when Tepper tell him to do something again.
Not damn Oregon. I don't know, though. Like
He
you
done
think
done
you
it.
The
He done
video
done
right
it.
there.
yes man
The
too.
video
Yeah,
right
he done
there.
done it. Yeah, he
Yeah.
done done it, Jalen. He done done it. What he supposed to do now? No, nah, I'm the GM now. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do what you say. No, buddy. Don't work like that. Don't work like that.
He wouldn't have got the job in the first place if that was the
He wouldn't
case.
have got the job in yep. He wouldn't have got the job in the first place. He wouldn't have got the job in the first place. If he was out there pushing back, he wouldn't have had a job in the first place, y'all. Trust me and believe me. We be talking about somebody else with this job. Yeah, it looked good that he was a former player and this and that. Y'all got to think Frank was a former player. Tepper got rid of him too. It don't matter.
Yep.
It looked good
Man,
on the hype video.
Oh,
that boy.
Carolina Panthers now, they got a hell of a media team. They know how to work them
Yeah,
cameras now.
yeah.
Good boy,
They
they
know
know
how
how
to
to
spin.
get you excited, boy.
Yeah, they know how to spin them angles. They know how to spin them angles, y'all.
They nasty with that what they call them airplane cameras. Them dang, what they call them things. The cameras they fly all around the sky and stuff, man. What they call
The
them things.
drone. What's that?
Yeah,
The
the drone.
drone.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. But they good with them things now. Make you happy. And then you get your feelings hurt week one.
Yeah. The drones and they bring y'all the hype music in. Ta da ta 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 da ta 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 da ta 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 da and have y'all tapping your feet and everything. Hey, it's all good, baby. It's all good. Man, we running up on 3 hours, y'all. Gonna get late to you, so y'all boys can get up in the morning and go to work. We gonna go ahead and get some last word. Kevin Kell, what you got on your last word there, buddy?
Man, I'ma just say y'all, let's hang tight. Uh that's all I can say is hang tight. I mean, ain't really. Yeah, let's hang tight. Let's don't get our hopes up because at the end of the day, I seen some fans say that this canal is higher. It feels different and all of that. It feels just
Mm-hmm.
like the Frank Wright and Matt Rule hire. And,
Okay.
so let's hang tight. With all we can do is speak hypothetically, and we'll go from there. And see y'all tomorrow.
No doubt. Yeah, I think we're gonna do it early. We're gonna do an early one tomorrow. We just want to put something out there tonight, and we just had a little brainstorm about want to go over some of that film. But Jalen, talk to me, buddy.
Well, my last word would be we just don't see what Dan Morgan do in the draft and keep praying.
No doubt. I don't know if Q had a mute if he was on the other end. Q, you still there?
He might
Yeah.
be sleep.
Okay. No. I think he was on the other end talking to somebody. Yeah,
Oh,
I know he had a phone call. Um, anyway, y'all, they had some breaking news about, what I'm saying, you had Will Anderson Jr., a rookie that came out of this draft right here that got drafted. He was defensive player of the year, who we thought he was gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Rookie defensive player of the year. Because I think he had about 7 or 8 sacks. He played for the Texans. And y'all know the Texans picked CJ Stroud. They came back down and they traded down with the Cardinals and picked up Will. They had a masterful, beautiful draft, and they end up. I don't think they got the other rookie of the year, but CJ. I don't know if he was close or if he did get it or whatever. Then that means they got two rookies of the year, one on offense and one on defense. But Will Anderson Jr. did get defensive rookie of the year, the edge rusher out of where did he come from? Alabama, I believe it was. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Alabama. And then Myles Garrett got it this year. Myles Garrett, defensive player of the year for regular season, defensive player of the year. Will Anderson Jr. was rookie, defensive rookie, and Myles Garrett was defensive pro player throughout the league. But y'all see how it's done when it's done correctly. Oh man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But we will get back at y'all tomorrow, man. Keep pounding, man. Y'all keep looking at who we could draft, what we need to do to fix this team. Y'all don't let them snow you over or throw this bullshit out there and try to make you know what I'm saying, piss on your boot and make you think it's raining. Don't fall for it, bruh. Don't get hypnotized. Please, please. All we gonna do, man, we gonna keep pounding, turning to keep praying, and I mean, all that stuff. We gonna show enough see, Jalen. We gonna see. Other than that, we out here.